Good evening. For one sec. Why are things going wrong immediately? I don't know, Okay, no, we're good, we're good. Oh, for a second I thought my model wasn't reacting. But no, we're good, we're good, we're good. Actually, let me adjust. Because I was playing around with it earlier. So let me just... This should be good? Hey, Sarah, how you doing? For once, I made sure to have everything going. Everything is actually properly set up this time. I did all, like, my social stuff. Well, hold on, there's one more thing I actually should be doing. Hold on. There's one... Never mind, I don't have to do that. Events launch app, who needs it? It's another kid. But as I've said in my posts, and I think on Twitch side, we're going to be watching Silver Wolf's trailer. And after that, we're going to go back to what I really want to watch, which is Dungeon Dad. Because I've been having to hold back so much from watching them off stream, and I want to watch them all on stream with everyone because, well, Dungeon Dad he's just really cool. I mean, let me... Should I wait a little bit, like, give people time to come in, or to like go ahead of it? How's everyone doing today? How you doing, Dums? Dums, you're a friend, you're cute, you deserve love. We are not enemies, we are friends. Well, how you doing, Sarah? How you doing? How you doing? Today is Monday, and then only a little bit after. Only a little bit over 24 hours until the update for Starro comes out. I'm really excited. I want to see more of the story. I want to know what the hell is going on in Planet Arcadia. And of course, speaking of Planet Arcadia, we have Silver Wolf's trailer. Fuck, hold on. There is something I need to fix. I keep forgetting about this. Where is it? The one thing I'm constantly going to have to fix whenever I shift screens. Where is it? There it is. This is going to be annoying. Hold on. There we go. Just have to refresh that to get that right. We pause the music because we're done with this for now. Well, hopefully for good for the rest of the stream. Unless I have to go BRB, then I'll start it back up. It's actually some mostly copyright-free music. Well, it's by Makai Symphony and Breaking Copyrights. I have on YouTube side. I do have the links available. But let's get right into this, and hopefully the audio is gonna be good. We're watching Silver Wolf's trailer, solo maxing.
Welcome back. Listen, the brave trailblazer has been captured by the evil demon king.
Not reading that. Skip. Which skin?
Eat something first.
If I use a buff, how will people know I'm a pro? Is it better? Time to show off my skills.
I love Wolfie. She's... Alright, pause. I love Wolfie. She's really fun. I would have pulled for her before if she was Nihility. I'm really happy she's not Nihility this time. And eventually I will actually build a proper team for her. I do not care. I do love Wolfie.
Too many puzzles.
Wolfie's just a goofball.
That's it.
I love the style of this. Like...
Yeah.
Just gain some water. The one thing I did forget was to refill my whole carrier.
How the game is played.
There we go. The song in the background sounds familiar, but I can't figure out what it is. Well, someone played her.
Hey, Demon King, you do what you want. Days are over. Huh?
Wait.
You mean, hey, Demon King, you
You see it? Hold on. It's the Virgil pose. The Virgil's lawn chair, but it's Firefly.
do what you
I
want.
like that.
Days are over, huh? You mean me? So, what am I supposed to do? A rare opportunity. 1v1.
Wait, Firefly got a. Wait, is that gonna be like a permanent new form for Firefly, or can she use that in battle now, or is like? I feel like we're gonna get a new Firefly. We might get a new Firefly form eventually if that's the form she's taking in this trailer. Because she can't do that in her current form, can she? Unless something got added when it wasn't. Actually, wait, isn't she getting buffed next patch, Firefly? Sela, Firefly, or I think it's Firefly. Sela, Welt. I'm blanking on who's getting. Blah, blah, blah. I'm blanking on who's getting updates. Let me check my phone for it real fast. No, 4.2. Let me see. Yeah, it's Firefly, Sela, Hua, and Welt. So I wonder if she's gonna be able to do that. And I just saw what Floss had posted in the server. Well, Trick server, of course.
Eat up.
Huh?
Oh, poor Wolfie. I do love these trailers. They're really fun. Honestly, it's probably like in terms of silliness, it's probably my favorite one so far. Hold on, there was something I wanted to see. I saw something. Okay, no, this is just a whole bunch of enemies. For a second, I thought it was like a whole bunch of just like Firefly repeatedly. But that was all for the Firefly trailer, and honestly, I did really like it. I'm excited for her. And of course, on what was it, Wednesday, we're gonna be pulling for her. So I'm looking forward to that. But now let's get into the main thing we want to watch, which is Dungeon Dad. And of course, tonight I'm starting off with my favorite type of dragon. And for those who know me, it's probably not the dragon you're going to expect. Unless you know my character I call Drake. If you know about Drake, then you know what the answer to then you already know what my favorite dragon is from D&D. But let's get into the video. Actually, hold on, let me and then might as well link it while I'm here. Well, link it for anyone who wants to go watch it later. There we go. Also, I do have their channel linked in on YouTube site, so in the YouTube room links, if you want to go check them out, you can go check them out in the link below. But let's get right into this.
It's Tiamat. We all
I don't know what show with
as the evil.
I don't know what show with the. I don't know what show that's supposed to be from. I'm a little out of the loop on stuff, so if this is from some show, I don't know what it is. I have never actually bothered to check what it was.
Many-headed goddess of chromatic dragons. She is the mother from which all red, blue, green, black, and white dragons descend. Each one of these draconic races is represented by a different head on Tiamat's body, which makes sense, sort of. Though you probably already knew all of that. But
I forgot how different his hair can be throughout the years. This is like... Yeah, this video was 3 years ago.
did you know that Tiamat had a sister? Yet another
Just like Markiplier, his hair has
goddess
changed
with multiple
significantly.
heads. Though this sibling was a bit different. She was said to have heads of purple, orange, and yellow. Hello and welcome to Monster of the Week. This week we are going dragon hunting once again.
What's his shirt say?
And as we explore one of the lesser known giant winged lizards, the yellow dragon. As always,
Yep. My favorite is not a pink dragon, purple dragon, or any kind of edgy dragon. It's yellow dragons. I love them. Like, outright, they're probably my favorite D&D dragon of all of them. It's like, it's not even because how they look or like, it's just, with them, it's a story potential they have, and you can do so much with a yellow dragon that I think like others you can't really do as much with them. Well, of course you can, but I see the most potential in the yellow dragons, and that's what draws me to them so much. And my character, Christopher Drake, which is like Pirate Captain Yellow Dragon, his real name is Floudux, and he's based on the Yellow Dragon from D&D.
my goal here today is to go
I do
over
love
this monster's ability.
And Drake is also like a character who. Sorry, my throat's messing up a little bit. Out of all my characters, Drake is the one that has like the most writing behind him, and I keep having to expand on Drake and like everything he does. It's like Drake is just a character I've spent the most time like thinking about lore of and like trying to write him. And of course, like Drake has a lot of people he associates with and talks to often, so I have to write them. I have to write his interactions. I have to like. And surprise, surprise, Drake's also my one character who does not have a design drawn yet. Oh, I need to get to Drake eventually. I need to like draw him, like think of designs for him. Like I already have a lot in mind. I just have to like actually like just draw it down. And I already have like 3 characters I'm having to work on right now. So if I can finish them before art fight, then I will get to Drake. Because Drake is a favorite of mine. Like right next to Kaida, he is a favorite. I write him more than I write Kaida, but I draw Kaida more than I draw him, which is not a high bar. I have not whatsoever drawn Drake. Now let's go back to the video.
Its ecology, its in-game lore, and actual publication history, as well as provide you with some updated 5th edition stats, and go over a few plot hooks and story ideas.
I'm sorry for pausing again, but I've never actually played D&D. I have a lot of anxiety, and that's like most of the reason why. I also wouldn't know how to go about it whatsoever. So these stat sections, like, it does kind of go over my head, but I still do like listening like the videos all the way through. I don't skip anything with this.
If that sounds good to you, then settle in because this week's episode is a doozy. Now, I'm assuming most of you watching this have a pretty good grasp on what a dragon is, at least as far as Dungeons and Dragons is concerned. However, for the folks who aren't in the know, here's a super quick crash course on dragons and why the color of their scales is important. Most dragons in D&D you're likely to come across will fall into one of 2 groups. Chromatic dragons are the ones with colored scales that span the entire RGB spectrum of color. They are evil. Metallic dragons have scales with a metallic sheen that fall on the spectrum of metals such as bronze, copper, or gold.
I do know like the 4 types of dragons, like, well, I'm pretty sure it's only 4 types, which is chromatic, metallic, ferrous, and gem. Well, I suppose you could say shadow dragons are like a 5th type, but I believe any dragon can become a shadow dragon just by being in a certain realm long enough. So, so they pretty much like they are everything, but at the same time they are nothing. It's like I guess you can say it's like Shadow Pokemon, but at the same time I don't know if that's the best comparison. It's just the first one I can think of is like I'm a Pokemon nerd. I like Pokemon, I just don't like what they're doing nowadays.
They are typically good aligned. Great, so now that we know 99% of what there is to know about general dragon knowledge in
no.
D&D...
Hold on, okay, it fixed itself. I was trying to pause it because I'm trying to remember like chromatic, evil. Metallics are good. Gem. I'm blanking what gem is supposed to be. And Ferris dragons are lawful, but can be either lawful good or lawful bad, because I believe the Cobalt dragons, which are Ferris dragons, I believe, are I'm pretty sure they can be lawful good or no. I'm pretty sure they are lawful evil. Also, Events One Shot doesn't hit Assuming Bravery. I love that thing. It has an amazing shiny. I'm gonna Ultra Ball that thing. Ultra Cherish Ball.
We can talk about what makes the yellow dragon so special. Yellow dragons made their first and only appearance back in Dragon Magazine issue number 65 in September of 1982. A gentleman by the name of Richard Allen Lloyd was responsible for their creation via an article that he had written for this issue of Dragon Magazine entitled "The Missing Dragons: Filling in the Tints of the Color Wheel." This was a fascinating article that asked one pretty simple question. If we have red, blue, green, black, and white dragons, why don't we have dragons of any other colors? Mr. Lloyd approaches this problem from a very interesting angle where he tries to use color theory and the idea of the color wheel to set precedent for dragons beyond the basic ones that we see in the monster manual. The main idea here is that, say, a red dragon and a blue dragon decide to go off and start a family together. Once they get up to some baby making, what color would their offspring be? And more importantly, what type of abilities would they have? After all, red dragons can breathe fire and blue dragons can breathe lightning, so which breath weapon would the child inherit?
Well, I got the Bravery, but it's not like no shiny. It's a bummer. Like I had only like I'm pretty sure I only have one Ultra Ball left, or Ultra Cherish, and I love that thing shiny. It's like that was just a bummer. God, what bummer.
The answer Richard Allen Lloyd came up with was neither. He posited that their offspring would be a purple dragon, because purple is the color you get when you combine red and blue, and that the child would have a unique breath weapon.
I do actually really like this concept. Right. I don't know why I like it so much. Like, just the idea, like two different species mixing, you get entirely something different. But at the same time, like it still pulls aspects from both of them. I don't think that's how coloration works, but well, not in species anyways. But I do like that. This is a fantasy creature. You can do pretty much whatever you want with it, and I do like that this is something they're doing. I didn't like it in How to Train Your Dragon because have you seen those hybrids? Like, ugh. Some of them are cool, and some of them are really creepy. Like, if you want to see something stupid, like, go look up the Bumble. Pretty sure like Grunkle and Monstrous Nightmare, like that thing's a pug of dragons. Anyways, back to the video again.
And that makes sense, right? But the only problem with this is that red and blue are both primary colors. Black and white are the presence of all color or the absence of all color respectively, but green is a secondary color, meaning that the color green doesn't really exist on its own, but rather it's a combination of yellow and blue. But this was only a problem because we didn't have yellow dragons. yet. This would seem to imply that green dragons would be the offspring of yellow and blue dragons. But then, if we have yellow dragons in the mix, that means we also have to have orange dragons as a result of yellow dragons mingling with red dragons. And this only raises further questions when the topic of lore comes up. In the established D&D canon, Tiamat is the mother of all chromatic dragons, and one of her heads is green, which would suggest that green dragons come directly from her. And she doesn't have a yellow head.
Yeah, that was always kind of a weird one. Like, try and go color 3 for a dragon, and then your main dragon doesn't have all the heads it should have had. Which I also am pretty bad at. I know color 3 to like basic extent. I'm still learning stuff. Sorry about that. What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah, like RGB. Why is it like not our like red, blue, yellow? Because green's a fusion color, and like make green, you need blue and yellow. So why is yellow not like one of the primaries? Like, well, the main 3. I know it's a dumb one. I shouldn't try to talk about stuff I'm not good at talking about. Back to the video.
So how then can blue and yellow dragons breed to make green dragons if green dragons came before yellow dragons? Basically, this leaves you with 2 options as to why yellow, purple, and orange dragons might exist in the world at all. Option A is that you completely ignore the established canon and rule that in your world, red, yellow, and blue dragons came first and the other subspecies came about from them boning down. Option B is that Tiamat had a sister with 3 different colored heads who she murdered. Wait, what?
So I have seen this video before because, well, of course I would have seen it. That's how I got the idea to make my character Drake. But this is a very interesting part of the video. I have thought about like how to write a dragon god, because in the story I'm trying to write, there's gonna be like multiple gods, like more human gods or like elemental gods, and then of course dragon gods, which would include like Tiamat, sister, Bahamut. Was it Bahamut? I think it's Bahamut. And then there's the god of the fairest dragons, which I have completely been blanking on his name. If you try to ask me what the name was, I cannot answer you. I don't remember. Kind of forgettable that one, huh? Anyways, back to the video.
Richard Allen Lloyd, the mad lad himself, dropped a pantheon-shattering piece of information in an issue of fucking Dragon magazine. But the weirdest thing about any of it is that this information didn't even come from this article in question. It came from another article published in a different issue of Dragon magazine in 1998. 16 years later, Richard Allen Lloyd published another article called Return of the Missing Dragons, where he revisited some of his ideas from the original article that casually makes reference to Tiamat maybe having a sister with heads of yellow, orange, purple, and other crossbreed colors. This sister is not named, and there's no description or information given about her at all. But it is implied that Tiamat likely destroyed her, and that's why these other colors of dragons have become so rare. Personally, I really like this interpretation. I find it fascinating, I find it compelling, but I also just really need to stress how bonkers it is that Tiamat's alleged sister was brought up once in a Dragon magazine article and then literally never mentioned again. For those not entirely consumed by Dungeons and Dragons lore, let me try to put this in perspective. This would be like learning there's an 8th continent nestled between Africa and Australia, and the only reason you found out about it is because you opened up a 20-year-old geography textbook you just happened to find lying around. I find this especially compelling because the author is basically daring you to invent a new god.
Again, I do also like this idea. Like, I like trying to write deities. Like, how do you make them like not feel like deities, but at the same like feel like deities? Like, and then you just outright have like Tima is basically a deity. Like at that point, I'm pretty sure. I think it like depends like who's writing the stories, but personally, I would consider Tima a deity. So the fact that she killed her sister or alleged sister, proof a god can bleed. If they can bleed, they can be killed.
Which is really cool, but it would have been nice to at least get a few more details, like, I don't know, her name, for example. But whatever origin story you subscribe to,
I do agree with this, but if you're gonna make a god, at least drop the name, right? Also, hi Moo. Hi Moo. How you doing? How you doing? I have seen what Frost had said about the collab, well, in HSR, and apparently it's off. Which, I mean, I'm not surprised they didn't announce anything. So like, probably wasn't gonna happen to begin with. We excited for tomorrow or 2 days? We excited for the update? I think you're still ahead of me on polls right now too. I'm pretty sure the weeklies reset, so I might after stream I might do my weeklies and like all my dailies, and then try and catch up on some events, and then I might pass up you. I think I'm on like 260, like between 260 and 255 polls right now. Diverging, it's down? What the hell happened? What the hell did I do? Like all the rewards? Like every single one of them? Or is like, huh? I guess I have to check my mailbox after stream because I don't have the game installed on my phone. But today is Media Monday, and this is a new thing for the channel. I just really wanted a day where I could just chill out, watch videos, and I want to show you guys like the stuff I like to watch. Okay, so it's just a weekly one. I was thinking it was a synchronization rate thing, and I was just saying one of the things I like to watch is Dungeon Dance videos. It gives me just ideas for writing, which is the point because like he does mention like a lot of cool stuff. I think after this video we'll watch one of my other favorite D&D creatures, which is I think it's called the Harvester Devil. But with a name like Harvester Devil, you would expect something, and you'll see when we get there.
The mere existence of the yellow, orange, and purple dragons evokes some very interesting questions and debate, which is almost universally the sign of an interesting monster. Speaking of subscribing, it'd be super cool if you would, maybe even leave a comment or a like, I don't know.
Go subscribe to Dungeon Dad. I'm pretty sure I linked the video earlier, so if anyone on Twitch chat has to scroll up, then you can do that. But also the YouTube room links, we have the link to Dungeon Dad's channel in the description below, so you can also click on that. Oh no. There you go.
But I still have one lingering question about yellow dragons. Yellow dragons will make their home anywhere there is salt in the air and preferably in the water as well. Typically they nest in seaside caves or cliffs. However, they are also known to take refuge in salt marshes or in mountain ranges surrounded by salt flats. They're also amphibious too, so I imagine undersea caves would be an attractive option. Physically, yellow dragons have a few prominent features that easily distinguish them from others of their kind. They have much longer bodies than your typical dragon and a more slender form. The article also mentions that their scales are much smaller.
I'm curious as well. It would be nice if Ray frosted again. Well, today it can be like, for you guys that can be anything. For me, that could be like 3 in the morning. Is Trick streaming today? I didn't check the schedule. If Frosted is live by the time I end stream, which I think for Media Monday we're gonna go like 5 hours maybe. At the start of stream we watched the new Silverwolf trailer. So Drake isn't streaming today. If Frosted is live, we might raid into them, but I'm saying like I think Arcadia could also be live by then. And it's been a good second side of rated Arcadia. Arcadia also plays gacha games like Woo-Wah, so I do think you'll enjoy them. Plus, I kind of feel bad I haven't been there more often. I'm gonna drop them a lurk on my phone. But let's continue the video.
Which of course leads them to being replaced much more often. So anywhere that a yellow dragon has been regularly, you can expect to find a pretty high amount of their scales kicking around. This difference in scales isn't just aesthetic though. It makes their bodies much smoother than other draconic kin. Their skin becomes more like that of a serpent rather than a lizard. This of course allows for much faster movement. So yellow dragons are by far physically the weakest of all dragon kind, but they're also the fastest. To put it in perspective, most dragons when fully grown have a top speed of 40 feet per round on foot and 80 feet per round while flying through the air. Yellow dragons have a top speed of 60 feet per round on foot and 120 feet per round while in the air. They can also burrow and swim at a speed of 60 feet per round, so all in all, they're the fastest dragons in town and no terrain is off limits to them.
Another reason why I like the yellow dragon so much. They are all terrain and you cannot stop them. Also, event spawn chat everyone is a Mr. Mime. I don't like Mr. Mime that much. Though I do like Mr. Rhyme. Mr. Rhyme's like really fun. Oh, so Frost is going live. I will not be able to lurk Frosted sadly because I just put Arcadia on lurk keys. And given I'm lurking off my phone, I can only watch one at a time. Plus, if I try to lurk Frosted, it's just gonna get caught up on the stream and it'll like just it'll drop the quality a lot. And I don't want the quality to drop and like performance and everything. So if you're in both streams, do tell Frosted I said hi. Let's just get back to this. I know, where is it?
They're also immune to fire damage, so volcanic locations and magma flows aren't even off limits. And like most dragons, they are of course highly intelligent, meaning that they use this speed to their advantage. Yellow dragons never stick around to fight toe-to-toe. They're gonna make use of that extreme speed to employ hit and run tactics, the likes of which you have never seen. They're also notorious for setting ambushes and traps to get the drop on their enemies. And this fighting style really speaks to one of the core traits you'll find among most yellow dragons, and that is selfishness. In ages past, when the dragons were at war with the giants, it's said that the yellow dragons were nowhere to be found. Chromatic dragons aren't exactly known for getting along with one another, but even in a time of crisis, when their race was potentially facing extinction, the yellow dragons chose not to show up. You'd be hard-pressed to find a being with a longer memory and a more intense penchant for holding a grudge than an ancient dragon. And this kind of pushed the yellow dragons into obscurity. It's not like chromatic dragons really have a ton of friends as it is, so that, coupled with the fact that any other dragon they came across would want to actively seek out and kill them, led to them staying in hiding. The yellow dragons decided it was best to just disappear.
I can't even blame him. Like, granted, it is dude like really ancient stuff, and I don't think the yellow dragons today should be blamed for it. But given how dragons work, I do understand all this, and it does make sense they would stay in hiding. Cause like, you're an enemy of chromatics, like every other chromatic. You're an enemy of the ferrets. You're an enemy of the metallics. Every single dragon species is going to be out for yellow dragons. Which is another reason why I wrote my character Drake the way he is. He usually stays in human form, or, well, yeah, generally just like human form. He can turn to his full yellow dragon form, but Drake, more often than not, will never turn to his dragon form unless it's like a situation that really benefits him. Mostly in combat, or like as a like that's an element of surprise type thing. The usual method of Drake attacking towns, like it's seaside stuff, and Mist rolls in. Then he just turns to dragon form when no one is looking and takes this guy and just starts attacking. Then once he's caused enough chaos and panic, he goes right back to the ship and disappears. Or at least by disappear, I mean he goes back to his human form and no one realizes what happened, other than his crew, because his crew does know he's the yellow dragon. Anyone else who knows, he pretty much knows to keep it quiet, or is like a friend. So I just really like writing Drake. He's one of my favorite characters of the ones I have.
This isolation eventually led to the Yellow Dragons creating their own unique dialect of Draconic. As beings who see everyone and everything as a potential threat, their language evolved independently from the Draconic being spoken by all the other dragons. So their dialect of Draconic is only spoken by and understood by Yellow Dragons. If you were to ask, most other dragons would probably just eat you. But if they decided not to eat you, they would likely describe the Yellow Dragons as cowards. But I don't think that's really true.
Wait, what did that say?
If you were to ask, most
I didn't see what that said.
Probably just eat you. But if they decided not to eat you, they would likely describe the Yellow Dragons as cowards.
Total bitches.
But I don't think that's really true. Earlier, I specifically used the word selfish to describe Yellow Dragons because that's exactly what they are. They're not afraid of combat, but they'll also never take a risk that they don't feel is entirely worth it. If a Yellow Dragon ever chose to stick its neck out for somebody else, they would have a pretty damned good reason for doing it.
This is an element for Drake I did ignore because, well, I wrote Drake a very specific way, and I really like the way I wrote him, which Drake is selfish, but not to this extent. Because he has a lot of people he cares about, which is his crew, and he has a very large crew. In the world I'm running for Drake, he's one of the four most dangerous people on the planet. Well, one of the four most well-known dangerous people, because there is one character I'm running so far who's going to be stronger than Drake, but it's like that person stays out of the spotlight, so people really don't know about him. Of course, Drake knows about him, and Drake doesn't like him whatsoever. It's not even because he's stronger than Drake. It's just because, like, how do I explain this? I'll talk about it later. Another time. If Ersk is here, Ersk knows what I'm talking about. I've talked about this a lot with Ersk. Anyways, back to the video.
So, the other reason I say they're not cowards is because most other dragons are actually afraid of them. If, say, a pair of blue dragons were ever to try and take down a yellow dragon of equal size, the blue dragons would certainly come out on top. But in a one-on-one fight, despite the fact that blue dragons are much more powerful physically in almost every way, the yellow dragon actually has the advantage. Using their speed and incredible maneuverability, along with some less than honorable combat tricks, yellow dragons are statistically gonna come out on top every single time against almost every other type of dragon. Now that said, it's not like they're going out and picking risky fights for no reason, but if a rival dragon ever discovered that a yellow dragon was nesting within their lands, they would have to think very carefully before moving to attack. But should another dragon or a group of would-be dragon slayers ever try to take the creature down, here's how it might react. Yellow dragons have a lot of the same tools that many of the other giant flying lizards in the world of D&D have. They have a nasty bite, claw, tail, and wing attack. But what really sets them apart mechanically, like with most dragons, is their breath weapon. Yellow dragons breathe a massive concentrated cone of condensed salt. This might seem a little bit lackluster at first because it doesn't really cause that much damage.
Salt. ground force.
But the effects on anyone who fails their
What movie or show was that? I've mostly disregarded that part of the video because I didn't really know what it was. It wasn't familiar with me at all. It's not really that important. Just minor curiosity. Dragons are just like effectively just reptilian cats, and I have the curiosity of one. That's all.
saving throw against this breath weapon are truly debilitating. Anyone who does take the full brunt of the dragon's breath is going to be blinded and has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks for the next minute as the salt hardens over and encrusts around their body. The real kicker here though is that the salt also covers up and blocks any orifices on that creature's body. Hot tip, your mouth and nose both count as an orifice and you need at least one of them clear to be able to breathe.
Welcome to Yellow Dragons. You're either going to explode or you're going to get suffocated. Also, there's like one little conflicting detail I learned about these guys, which will come up shortly.
So while the raw damage of this breath weapon might not be that bad, being blinded while you suffocate in proximity to a fucking dragon is not exactly a place you want to be. Fortunately though, if you or a party member are able to dunk at least a gallon of water onto your body, the salt will mostly wash away and allow you to take a breath. But overall, just not a situation you want to be in. Yellow dragons are also notorious trappers. If you encounter one of them either within its lair or the lands surrounding it, it's most definitely going to be trying to lure you into one of the many traps it has set up ahead of time. An old favorite of the yellow dragon is to lie in wait underneath a bunch of sand or soft earth, essentially creating a sinkhole that leads directly into its mouth. Also, they have tremor sense, so being able to see things walking along the surface above you while you lie in wait is a pretty good look. Something I really appreciate about dragons is the age category system. Based on whether you're looking at a freshly hatched wormling or some kind of ancient threat to civilization as we...
If you're wondering why I say the name Wormling are like my rolls into the Discord and just for any chatters because it's a generic thing, you would be correct in assuming it was because D&D. Yeah, like a lot of the roles I had, like, well, so in the Discord was originally gonna have like a leveling system, like more you chat, more you like get experience, and like you can rank up and rank up and rank up. And there's gonna be like a good few roles, like which are mostly like named after like just things I like the Regalia Lost, How to Train Your Dragon, Monster Hunter, and of course a little bit of D&D sprinkled in there. Because the top role would have been Titan Wing, which How to Train Your Dragon. And the most basic role, which has become the default, is Wormling. Because it sounds cute, and I like how it sounds. It's just cute.
know it, the dragon's lair and how they behave is going to change drastically. But if you're a DM, the main thing to keep in mind when controlling a yellow dragon at the game table is that they are selfish and cunning. No unnecessary risks, lots of planning ahead, and definitely make sure to use that speed to your advantage. Most players, at least in my experience, haven't really been exposed to monsters that expertly use harrying tactics to whittle them down. So while I wouldn't recommend being mean about it just for the sake of being mean, this is a perfect time to show your playgroup how an apex predator hunts. Like any dragon, there's a lot of different stuff you can do when it comes to storytelling. I won't waste your time with plot hooks that are relevant to just any dragon in general. After all, we're here to talk about the yellow dragon today, so instead I'll focus on story ideas that are specifically related to the yellow dragon and what it's trying to do. Now, I don't know if this is simply a byproduct of growing up in what the rest of the world would likely consider a small fishing village, but the first thing my brain went to is pirate captain. Just think about it. A yellow dragon sailing the seas in search of treasure, commanding its horde of pirate minions. Now, the obvious problem with this idea is that your standard dragon would likely not fit on your typical seafaring vessel.
this is a part of the reason why I gave Drake a human form. Not only does it allow him to actually fit on the ship, well, I just said that out of order now, huh? Not only does it allow him to get around easier and talk to people easier, like not cause too much of a pain. It helps with the element of surprise, but it also lets him actually fit on his own ship.
At least, not a big one. But don't forget, yellow dragons love salt and they are amphibious. I love the idea of a yellow dragon either latching onto the bottom of their ship or simply swimming alongside it as it leads their pirate crew to the next raid. This would also set up a really cool reveal where the adventuring party who's investigating this notorious pirate finds out the captain of the ship is a fucking aquatic dragon. There is also precedent in D&D for dragons taking on humanoid form, so if you wanted to go that route and have the dragon actually be captaining on the ship in disguise, you could do that too. Plus, then you could give them a really obvious and cool nickname like Yellowbeard or something. Because yellow dragons aren't in the monster manual, most players won't think to associate that with dragons.
Also, why I did go with the dragon name for Drake, which like Drake. But Drake's full. Oh, hold on, wait. Event Pokemon chat. There's a Leo. I'm gonna Ultra Ball that thing. Plus, if you have a starter egg, that should apply for its hatching conditions. As I was saying. Alright, Drake's name. So Drake's full human alias is Christopher Drake, which comes from Christopher Hatton and Francis Drake. Of course, like, piratey stuff. Like, but also, Drake does have a little bit of title, which is Death Fist, because I gave Drake the ability to channel the power of his dragon form into his human form. So he fights Billy with his hands. His main weapon? These hands. Ready to eat for everyone. And Drake's true name is actually Floudux, which comes from the 3 Latin words for yellow, captain, and trick. Because he's a yellow dragon who tricks people into thinking he's human. And of course, he's a pirate captain. Flauvum, Frauden, and Flauvum, which means yellow. Fraudum, which means trick. And of course, just Dux means captain. So I took a little bit of letters out of all 3 of those words and put them together. We got Floudux, which is Drake's full name. Well, true name.
99% of my encounter prep is built around nicknames, I'm so sorry. I also think
I mean, I can't even blame that. The 3 characters I'm working on, I'm still trying to like figure out names for. And I actually messaged Ashley about this one. Ashley has not gotten back to me yet, but I'm giving it time. I don't mind. Because I've heard from Ersk that Ashley's actually really good with naming characters, and there's a lot of reason like they're just really good at it. Well, I assume so. But I have 3 I have 2 characters I need to name, and then just others I have to make eventually and then name. Funny how the only other new character I've given a name was Intelligence a joke character who I decided like, okay, no, you're actually going to be a character. Which is one of Drake's 7 admirals, which is a cat man I named Garfield. His first name is Gar, and the last name is Fyld, which is field, but spelled differently. And I actually did I put like 2 hours of thought into Gar's, like, all his lore, which I now have to also think more of, because I have to think, like, relationship with Drake, relationship with the other admirals, and the honorary admiral, which is, according to Earth, Drake's husband. Old man Yowie.
encountering a yellow dragon for research purposes could be really interesting. As an elusive and rare
Thanks for lookies, Alice.
type of dragon,
Are we doing well?
perhaps the party is sent by some educational institution or a prolific scholar to investigate rumors of a yellow dragon spotted halfway around the world. Make it a real mysterious adventure. Something really fun about this too is that once the party actually does meet the dragon, if they don't just try to fight it right away, When they realize that they can't communicate with it, speaking typical draconic language, then they might have to find a way to enable that communication, either through magic or maybe just by actually taking the time to learn the Yellow Dragon dialect. That is definitely the type of thing that the scholarly characters out there will jump at. In a sort of similar fashion, maybe the adventuring party is sent to find the Yellow Dragon by another chromatic dragon. A local red dragon might decide to send the party to investigate and take down this potential rival in exchange for something the party wants or needs. There are a ton of different ways that scenario could play out, and I think all of them are equally interesting. Finally, if you want to do a little bit of legwork here, you could always flesh out the idea of Tiamat's sister as this other multi-headed dragon goddess. Perhaps there's a new cult dedicated to her that's trying to bring her back from the void, which the party may want to actually help or hinder depending on how you set it up. Perhaps this unknown dragon goddess isn't even evil, she might be good or neutral, and that is why Tiamat killed her. Or maybe she's way worse than Tiamat, and Tiamat's actually the more reasonable of the two, and you have to side with the cult of Tiamat to prevent this much worse creature from coming back into reality. This would open up a whole can of worms in a campaign where the party is going from location to location, and all these long thought destroyed or non-existent dragon variants are suddenly coming into light as the approach of this dragon goddess draws near. Whatever you choose to do, I think yellow dragons are pretty dang cool, and at their very simplest, they provide a bit of mystery and intrigue to a type of monster that most D&D players have encountered time and time again. If you do want to use this monster at the D&D table and you're not playing a D&D and you don't have a couple copies of Dragon Magazine kicking around, if you look in the description down below, you will find a link to a Google document which contains my entire 5th edition version stat block for the yellow dragon in all 4 age categories. They're complete with everything you will need to successfully run this monster at your table. And if you are one of my lovely patrons, you'll be able to find the Dungeon Dad exclusive Patreon PDF of this monster stat block, all several pages of it, over on the Dungeon Dad Patreon page, which can also be found linked in the description below. And thank you so much to all the patrons out there watching this right now for bringing me back week after week to talk about all the cool monsters D&D's history has to offer. I wouldn't be able to do it without you. And speaking of patrons, it's time for Patron of the Week. This week's randomly selected patron is Sleepy Fox. Try not to wake them up, but thank you for the support. And thank you for watching.
I know we don't have to watch this whole like the Patron of the Week bit, but
show up on Monster of the Week,
if we're reacting to this, like, no, I'm gonna watch it all the way through. Sponsors
or whatever your preferred method of communication is, and who knows, you might just see it show up on Monster of the Week. But that's all.
Not like YouTube ads, but like
the next one.
If he has a sponsorship in the video, I will watch it. I'll watch it like until the video ends too. I know we don't have to, like, if you're gonna react to something like live as a video, like either live as or as a video, like watch it all the way through. Like it helps them even as like just even a little bit. And of course, check out Dungeon Dad's video. As I said before, YouTube Wormlings, you have the channel. The channel is down below in the description. But for Twitch Wormlings, I'm gonna link it again. We're just gonna link the video. And of course, YouTube Wormlings can also see it in the chat on the screen here. We're not going to watch this one yet because I believe, like, give it at least 2 weeks and then we can watch it. But as I said before, we're going to watch one of my other favorite creatures from D&D, which I've learned thanks to Dungeon Dad. It's a creature I'm very much interested in, like, as a villain. The Harvester Devil. You hear the name Harvester Devil, you see a thumbnail like that, what would you assume? Also, the thing below looks to be spiderish. I'm not scrolling down. But next up, we're watching the Dungeon Dad's video on the Harvester Devil, which I love these things. I love these things.
Hello and welcome to Monster of the Week, the only show on the internet that thinks
there is so much writing potential for the Harvester Devil, and I adore them. I want to write one myself eventually, and I figure out like how to make it work. Because in the world and stories I'm trying to write, there's not there's not currently room for. Well, there is room for them. It's like I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to make them work right now. Anyways. There we go. To each Wormlings, we have the link in chat, so you can check out the video there. Once again, like YouTube Wormlings, we have just the channel, his channel linked below. Let's get right into this.
Thinks the Faustian deal gets a bad rap. Today, we are talking about one of the most interesting creatures from the Nine Hells.
When he says most interesting, he is not lying. This is the only demonic creature I've seen in D&D that I just love it. I love them so much. They're so cool. They have so much potential for story. I told Martin about them once, and he thought they were wild. I mean, they are. He'll understand soon. I really want to show this guy off. I wanted you guys to see this.
You could ever cross paths with the Harvester Devil. As always, we'll be going over this creature's publication history, lore, and ecology, taking a deep dive into everything there is to know. And then we're going to convert them into 5th edition D&D so you can use them in your current 5e campaign. I'm so excited to talk about this monster. They're weird, they're practical, they have a personality, and they pose larger questions about the overall cosmology of the multiverse, all of which are things I consider to be a massive benefit. So settle in, make sure you talk to your lawyer before signing any contracts, and get ready because we are taking a trip to the Nine Hells.
4 Phoenix at the top. Like, wait, what?
Harvester Devils first appeared in 3rd edition D&D as part of the Fiendish Codex 2, Tyrants of the Nine Hells. This book, published in 2006, was meant to really flesh out the Nine Hells as a location for your Dungeons & Dragons adventures. As was the norm for most 3rd edition books at the time,
Shout out to the shirt he's wearing. D&D's nuts. Yeeti, if you're lurking, that's a shirt you need. Either for your model, for yourself, I don't know. But Yeeti, you need this shirt.
this thing was chock full of all kinds of options for both players and DMs that were looking to get dragged to hell. There's also just a ton of really interesting game lore in this book, so if you're a lore nerd like me, chances are you probably are if you're watching this channel, and you can manage to get your hands on a copy, I highly recommend it. There's some interesting stuff in there. But I digress. We're here to talk about the Harvester Devil. Harvester Devils, or Falksugan if you're speaking Infernal, are very humanoid in their appearance. Aside from their goat feet, horns, and barbed tail, these guys tend to look like just about any other well-dressed charlatan. And that's something worth noting, is that these creatures are always dressed to the nines in beautiful garments, finery, and anything that they think makes them look cool. If it weren't for their...
Hi Jupiter, hi Jupiter, hi Aether, how you doing today? This is my first time doing proper medium. Well, this is the first proper Medium Monday stream. We've watched it before, but that wasn't on a Monday, and this is gonna be part of the weekly schedule from now on. Because I just wanted a chill stream and just watch stuff together. Like, I can show you guys stuff I like to watch. I should probably open up a channel in the Discord where you can like recommend stuff to watch. Like with exceptions, because I believe there is some stuff that we can't watch on stream. No. So one's tired and one's surviving after a nap. Jupiter, did you sleep at all, or did you mess up your sleep schedule again? And Aether, I do hope you're doing well. How late was your nap? You didn't mess up your schedule too, did you? As if I could be talking, my schedule doesn't exist. Other than my stream schedule, which is always late at night, because it's the only time I get any quiet time. Oh no. Hold on. What do you mean 7 p.m.? That's most time. That's the time a lot of people go to sleep, Aether. What do you mean that's the time you took a nap? What time is it for you? What time is it for you? Oh no, what did I just... I thought I broke something for a second. Let me bring this over, like... It looks fine. Put this back over there. Oh, Jupiter. Oh, that's rough, buddy. I'm hoping they'll let you make up for it. Like, surely they will, right? Like, some kind of work, like, something you can, like, study notes, something like that. Like missing class would be really rough. Like, especially if it's one you might be struggling in, like, because there were classes I struggled in, I would miss a single class, and then I would like be completely lost in where we were. Also, sadly for the arachnophobes in chat, we have an Ario dose above me, which is an event spawn, so I have to catch it. I do like Ariados, but it's spider Pokemon as a whole are kind of mid, except for Galvantula. I love Galvantula. Also, I did see Ava's message. It is 9 p.m. for you. Actually, are you the same? Right, you are the same time zone as me. 0 out of 10, these don't show. Good, even makes sense. Okay, so it's the exact same content each time? Huh. Okay. At least that at least goes like you need to make up for it. I've been thinking about like what kind of stuff I want to do for learning. I don't know where to go for it. Because I've been learning video editing, I've been learning Blender, well, trying to learn Blender. Oh, Blender is infuriating. I've been drawing, I've thought about picking up, like, trying to make music after I saw Squid doing it, because honestly, it looked like something I might enjoy. I don't know. Like, might as well try, like, a little bit of everything, you know? Oh, I love dumb jokes. let's get back to the real before we get sidetracked too much. For anyone joining us late, we are watching Dungeon's video on the Harvester Devil. For the Twitch warmlings, I will link it again. YouTube warnings, as I've said repeatedly at this point, we have his channel link down in the description.
Hellboy-esque features that almost fit in with high society. So it's a good thing they can use magic to mask their true appearance. Unless this creature was encountered on its home plane in the Nine Hells somewhere, it's very unlikely anyone interacting with a Harvester Devil would have any idea that they were talking to a devilish creature. They do their utmost to come across as any other humanoid creature, at least while they're in public. In private, though, that's a whole different situation. As the name would suggest, these creatures are experts in the art of harvesting, and I'll give you one guess what they harvest. To a devil, there's no crop more important than souls. And the easiest way by far to collect mortal souls is simply to find creatures who are willing to give up their soul in exchange for something of value.
Aether, you should make hot cocoa. I know it's effectively It's the warm, hot chalky milk. The warm chalky milk. Oh, I love hot cocoa. I mean, it's effectively the same thing unless you use the syrup for it, which like, it's effectively the same thing. Make it warm it up, pretty much the same thing. Probably like add a marshmallow, whipped cream, or something like that. I've never made it too special. Like I make it the way it is. I drink default. Though I've heard from Blaze that they have a recipe for it. And just like I've seen the pictures Blaze like I've seen the picture Blaze sent of their hot cocoa. Like, oh, it looks so good. I want to try. I really do. I don't have chalky milk, and I don't want to go get up. Well, I'm out of water in my jug, so I'm gonna have to get up at some point. Especially if someone does that. Oh wait. Right, fuck. I was supposed to say this at the beginning of stream. I've updated the sounds alert again. Well, sound alerts again. It's only for Twitch normally, so YouTube side, I'm sorry, you don't have it. But you will be able to hear it if someone uses it. We have 2 new ones, and I've updated the 2 old ones. Which I updated Roberto, and the B one has been replaced, but it's effectively the same. Well, I say effectively, but no, it's animated now. Well, kind of animated. To find the sound alerts, you just have to go to extension, and they should all be free. They're all 4 little buttons. They're all on a 5-minute cooldown though. Well, now you're making me want to go to England and see how they make it. Actually, I know people in England. I can just ask them. Remind to myself to ask Small Stitch Ghost how they make hot cocoa. Or Chuddy. I know they both live there. Also, I wonder if Martin knows anything about it. Hi, Dums. You were so lucky I can't ban that term. I should mod someone. I thought I wouldn't need mods, but I mean, eventually I will need mods, and I just don't know who's who mod. Plus, we haven't been in a situation where I actually needed a mod. Other than just, I need someone to pin messages, because Mel does not let me. Out there you call me an enemy. Then be fighting words, Dums. You want to fight? Come on. Go for it. Throw hands. Throw hands and I'll hug you. Yeah, we are friends, Dums. We're best friends. I don't have a hug animation. Well, I have a hug animation, but it looks weird because, Yippee! Dubs deserves to be everyone's friends. Dubs deserves all the love. we have a hug command and a headback command, so if you want to do that. But yes, we have a hug command and a headback command. You can pat Dums and hug Dums. Dums is a cute patootie. Get Dums. We love Dums. Actually, wait, hold on. Because I saw Dums streaming. How do I... Let me sort of put this down right. Where's the buttons at? This one? I'm not lying to my audience, and now they're going to see it for themselves. Go follow Dums. I saw them streaming. They were muted the whole time, but I mean, so was I at the start. Well, other than my TTS. Also, because I just want to see how the alert's going to sound on you guys' side. I'm going to go press one of the alerts myself. Plus, I also actually did put work into animating this kind of. Well, as much. Can you call this animated? Let's go with this one. I put more work into this one.
Hey dudes, look! There's fungus among us!
Oh no. I forgot I made that a public command. Domes, Blaze. Domes, no. Blaze! Hi, Blaze. Hi, Blaze. Just the mouse. We were literally just talking about you. Well, I was. Because we were talking about hot cocoa. And I know you've sent hot cocoa pictures and like, oh, they look so good. They look so good. We love Blaze around here. Blaze is such a sweet bean. Hold on. Can I? You have not sent me. You've never sent me the recipe. I've only seen your picture from Ghost Chat, Guest Chat. But that's another wonderful bean you guys should follow. I don't want to have to keep typing this out though. You know what? Hold on. Jupiter. Do you want the ability to have these stabbies? Do you want the ability to have the stabbies, Jupiter? Because since I'm using mail, it'll be faster if someone else does this for me. Of course I'm okay with that. I'm the one asking you. Actually, I have to do that in the Discord now too. Now Jupiter can do all the shouties for me. Get them. Oh, I have to go do this in the Discord now. The first official Dragon Guard is Jupiter. Let me define the roles. Oh, it's been so long since I've had to do this. I have to go to the right channels to see who's available where. Where did I put you? There you are. You are so far down. Manage. Where are you? There it is. And I'm just gonna make a little thing in the Discord about this. Actually, I'm stalling so much. Back to the video.
Usually we're talking about wealth, power, or sometimes something very specifically valuable to the would-be soul seller. And the Harvester Devil is an expert at convincing mortals to make the ultimate trade. These cunning devils travel all over the material plane, hatching schemes, schmoozing with nobility, and worming their way into society in order to acquire as many mortal souls as possible. Now, due to the lawful nature of devils, this is almost never a violent transaction. The Harvester Devil will simply find individuals it can tempt into making a deal, and once a deal is struck, the creature's soul is forfeit. But the Harvester Devil does also have to uphold its side of the bargain too. This isn't a genie wish situation, this is a business transaction between two consenting parties. It's all very corporate, and if you were to view the Nine Hells as a massive bureaucratic institution, which it definitely is, these guys would be like the entry-level salespeople that get you to sign your life away and then mail you a garage.
I really have to do this on the. I had to do that on the YouTube side too because I don't. We can worry about it later. YouTube side's pretty dead, but it's good to have them around.
Full of weight loss.
Also, Blaze, Blaze, I did just see you send it to me. I'm gonna look at it on my phone. Back to the video though.
This is all probably sounding pretty familiar. I feel like there are countless depictions of devils and fiends all across D&D and pop culture as a whole that showcase the shadowy businessman wearing a suit trying to convince some mortal to sell their soul in exchange for monetary gain.
I'm sure your reasons are terrific if you're willing to pay with your soul.
Wait, my soul? My Kia soul?
But you guys also know that I wouldn't be making this video if that's all there was to it. See, the Harvester Devils have one exceptional quality to them, and that is the fact that no mortal can cause harm to a Harvester Devil unless the Harvester Devil attacks them first.
Can't touch me.
To put this in game terms, you literally cannot attack or take any aggressive action against a Harvester Devil unless you are either a creature from one of the outer planes or you can pass a DC 25 Wisdom saving throw. And even if you do manage to make that save, you'll be bringing a curse upon yourself that gives you disadvantage on attack rolls and
Hi, players, I see you on the YouTube side. Also, I have mentioned like before, I finally figured out why the YouTube alerts aren't working. I thought it was a me side thing, and no, it. So funny fact. The whole reason the alerts weren't going off for YouTube is because user settings, if you guys don't publicly show your subscriptions, then subscribing to me on YouTube will not actually pop up the alerts. Yeah, I found that one out today. Well, not today, like I found it a while ago. Also, we have an event spawn in chat. That's a Nimble. It's a bug and dark type, I believe. I'm gonna ultra ball that, even though I probably it's a small guy. I don't really have to ultra ball it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Also, for funnies, let's play the other sound alert I animated today, because we have two of them. I was stimming with this one because it's Sunny.
But we can be bees. This is good news.
Oh, I love that thing. The other two have not changed at all. Bees. We can be. This is good news.
saving throws for 24 hours as punishment for breaking cosmic law. This protection that the Harvester Devil enjoys isn't a result of some fiendish magic. It's only possible because of a loophole that Harvester Devils have found a way to leverage in an agreement between all of the gods, which has become known as the Pact Primeval. There's a ton of information to go over about this pact, why it is, what it is, and all of the information surrounding its creation, a lot of which is laid out in the book. But basically, it was agreement that all the gods came to at a very early stage in the multiverse's creation that essentially separated the domain of law into the domains of lawful evil and the domains of lawful good. Basically, it's why hell and heaven are two different places in the D&D canon. So, you can only imagine what this must do for their ego and their sense of security. Harvester Devils are brazen and imperious because they know that nobody can really do anything against them directly. This makes them excellent villains because you're dealing with a Harvester Devil antagonist. You can't just go straight to the source and chop his head off. You have to get a little creative.
Now remember, the instant you finish it, I own your soul for...
Hey, wait! If I don't finish this last bite, you don't get my soul, do you?
Technically, no.
But before we talk about what...
And that's why for making a deal like that, you make it like if they eat the donut at all. But some kind of loophole in there has something to make leverage it in your advantage if you're a devil. I know that was the whole point of the episode, like they messed up. I know that was the point. Back to the video.
What kind of schemes a Harvester Devil might get up to using this power? Let's talk about all of its abilities and what it can actually do in battle. Combat with a Harvester Devil is bound to be frustrating. This is a creature that cannot be targeted unless you're capable of passing a ludicrously high saving throw. And even then, if you do pass it, you have to make that save every single time you want to attack the devil until you can coax it into attacking you. Come to think of it, abilities like Crown of Madness and other charms that compel someone to attack a creature around them might come in real handy in a situation where you're trying to force a Harvester Devil to make the first move. But barring magical interference, as a CR6 creature, the vast majority of players going up against this thing are not going to be able to succeed on a DC 25 saving throw reliably. So because of this, the Harvester Devil's biggest fear isn't being attacked and killed, it's being captured. While you may not be able to stab it with a sword or shoot it with a gun, if you manage to imprison the devil, that's still fair game. So using a combination of spells like Disguise Self, Dispel Magic, and Misty Step, the Harvester Devil is going to be pretty slippery.
Hope the hot cocoa's good. I want hot cocoa. I can't go make some. I just don't want to get up right now. But I will. If I have to do my routine, at some point I have to refill my water because the one thing I forgot to do before stream was refill that thing. I'm pretty sure I'm out right now.
And of course, I can also do the one thing most devils are known for doing, and that is summoning more devils. Once per day, the Harvester Devil can summon 2d6 Lemures or 1d4 Bearded Devils. So if things start to get hairy, they're liable to summon some lackeys and hit the bricks. But if the devil does get into a situation where it feels like it has no choice but to attack, it has one trick up its sleeve. Sorry, did I say trick? I meant dagger. It has a dagger up its sleeve that I can stab you with for 1d4 plus 3 damage.
And let me see what you have. No!
And it curses you.
Oh, I always love that video. we have a we have a message from Blaze now. Friendly reminder, you dearies delighting over the dear Dragon Delver into D&D and all are all loved and appreciated. You're doing your best. You're feeling the valid, and you, wait, the chat went up. Hold on. Where was I? Oh, there we are. And you can defeat any demons that come your way. Please make sure you all nom snacks, sip water, and pat the most marvelous sword. Hey. Awesome hot cocoa, you deserve it. Love you all. Thank you so much, Blaze. You're always such a sweetheart. You are sweet. I forget some of the commands I have sometimes. The sounders were originally supposed to be commands, but then they kind of broke and But as always, if you guys always want to check the commands, we have a whole bunch of commands. YouTube side, I can also see them, but I don't know if they trigger on YouTube side. They should trigger. Hold on, wait. I can test this right now. Let me open up my own stream just on YouTube side. Pause that. Play this. Let me see what the commands I can just do. Chaos. Lovely. The bot's not showing up on the YouTube side. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Oh, lovely. I'm going to have to fix that. But that gives me opportunity. Because I need to mod that thing on the YouTube side anyways. So the art fight would not trigger? It also be like a delayed reaction. Hey Blaze, add a 0 at the end of that little redeem. 870% cute. You go over the limit. I'm gonna have to fix the YouTube side of the stream bot because I forgot about things. But Twitch side, all those commands will be active and they will be fully functional.
If you get
Actually, I'm gonna have
stabbed by
to.
this infernal
We're gonna have to
creature,
add that
you
one
might
to
not
the
take a ton of physical
to the
damage, but
to-do
you do have
list.
to make a DC 18 Wisdom saving throw, or your ass is cursed. And if you are cursed, you must spend your next action attacking a target as chosen by the Harvester Devil. So while the damage from its dagger may only be a slight sting, it can use the power of its enemies to cause some real harm. But ultimately, with limited physical attack options and a fairly shallow hit point pool, the Harvester Devil does.
Your first roll, you roll a d20. Fine, you win this time. You win this time. I'll get you next time. Actually, you roll a d20, but you are small, so I just have to agree and just put my head down enough or lift you onto my head. You know, is it? Can I? Let me see. I just got a dumb idea. I have to see if it actually works. Discover. Oh, wait a minute. There is something I can do. There is something I can do. Hold on. I have to figure out how this works, though. I have to just quickly throw this together. Hold on. How do I add... inactive? Where is it? Well, that ain't supposed to be there. Wait, I can press. Where is it? Okay, it did move. I have to find it again now. I had a little prop to my thing, which was a little mount. Wait. There it is. Why is that where you're attaching to? Hold on. Can I... It's not supposed to be right there. Chest, neck. That's supposed to be shoulder. It's like a little cat toy prop, and where do I put this thing? Any of them put it where it's supposed to be? Oh, that was wrong altogether. Actually, wait, can I? Oh wait, I can actually control. Oh, that is exactly where I wanted them. Move them a little bit more. Well, that is exactly where I wanted them. Now we actually do have a mouse on my head. We act as if it is Blaze. We have a little friend on the head. But what did the dice say? I wasn't looking at chat. Oh, it was just old stuff. Okay. Back to the video.
Doesn't want to be getting in fights if it doesn't have to. That's what it has minions for. No Harvester Devil is ever just alone. They make it their duty to become very difficult targets and very hard to catch by surprise. They go to great lengths to ensure that they are embedded in society like a tick, as deep as possible. So when you're up against a Harvester Devil, you're not really just fighting the Harvester Devil. You have no idea how many other creatures in the surrounding area might be under that devil's influence.
Bit of advice. Don't threaten the guy who pours the drinks.
Maybe he's promised the...
If they're in the guy who pours the drinks, you're gonna get the entire bar on you. Like, common sense, don't do that. If the guy serving the drinks is threatened, you're gonna have everyone in the bar on you because they actually like the guy, or at least like the guy's services. Don't go for the guy who's gonna have everyone on their side. Like, no, that's always a terrible idea. Unless there's an actual like good reason, just no.
Local
Don't do
captain
it.
of the guard that he can retrieve his deceased son's soul back from the depths of hell if he cooperates. So now, you're not just dealing with the devil, you've got the town guard on your ass. Or perhaps he's convinced the majority of the local merchants guild to sell their souls to him in exchange for vast quantities of wealth, and he uses them as a network of informants. Now, while you're traveling through the city, you have eyes everywhere watching your every move, and that's not even to mention the other devils that a Harvester Devil will have working under them. So based on how long a Harvester Devil has been active in a specific area for, there's really no
Oh, absolutely. You threaten the guy serving their drinks. They're gonna go from hey, happy people to we're gonna kill you in a second. Oh, so what is that? It's Cavalier and Traveler, is it? That's a bug and steel type. I actually do like the thing, but I think it has a disappointing shiny. I've never gotten that thing shiny before. Maybe one of these days when we get the Switch 2, I can... Well, I would also have to get the... I'd have to get Shield funded as well, because stuff happened with Sword and... Oh yeah, you could have shot the Umbreon here, didn't you? I need to just get like a whole thing set up for like chat shinies, because I told Martin also to give me his list, and then I'm like making it to a Google Doc. And then we've just not been doing it. I'm another thing for the to-do list.
telling how much danger you're actually putting yourself in when you make yourself openly averse to whatever that Harvester Devil is trying to do. If you do decide that you want to make yourself an enemy of this creature, usually it'll start with the devil approaching you and making you some kind of offer in hopes you won't be able to refuse.
Oh, good Jupiter.
Once you refuse that offer, then we see how things go. But I guess that brings us to our next topic.
Quantum Duck. I need to fix that thing. It's only supposed to be the disappear sound. It wasn't supposed to be both. Oh, Blaze, you got a what was that egg called? You got the shiny egg. Oh, so what's up, Dums? What's up, Dums?
But we can be bees. This is good news.
I love that stupid command. We are friends, Dums. We're gonna have soft tacos later and hot cocoa. Snacks. I need to like find a time where we like play Minecraft with everyone.
Hey dudes, look! There's fungus among us!
How we might actually use these things at the game table. This monster is great because it can fit in with practically any level of an ongoing campaign. Due to the nature of this monster and everything we just talked about, it's almost never going to be a physical threat. The true challenge here is going to be outthinking and outmaneuvering such a clever creature. If you're a dungeon master running this monster, one of the key things you'll want to consider is what role is the Harvester Devil currently fulfilling within the society it's invaded. Perhaps it's the shady advisor to the king. Or perhaps it's merely a shadowy salesman that appears in his stagecoach at the local crossroads every night, promising a solution to whatever ails you. But whatever level of influence the Harvester Devil has in society, if it's at odds with the party, things are bound to get complicated very fast. The adventurers may have to dismantle this devil's network of people beholden to him.
So entirely, clearly unrelated to the video, I just had an idea for another sound alert. Just jingling keys. Jingle, jingle.
Essentially just cutting off all of its resources so that the threat becomes...
Wait, I had a following set up? I forgot. I forgot StreamElements had that. And holy hell, 2 years. I wasn't even streaming that long. It's like just less than a year. In July will be like finally when we hit 1 year. Granted, I only started streaming when I hit 50 followers, so it does make sense. And holy hell, already 2 years. We've known each other that long? It doesn't feel like that long. Holy hell. And almost 2 years for you, Jupiter. Like, holy hell. I still don't even know what to do for the stream anniversary. Like, that's the day I plan to take affiliate, hopefully, if nothing goes wrong. It could happen sooner, it could happen later, but I do plan for it to be the day I debuted. You're an amazing you're an amazing being, and you're on my head right now. The D21, so you're sitting on my head, or this likeness of you in a way. Small, cute.
Moot. Maybe they go on a quest to find a celestial who's willing to help them. Because remember, mortals can't attack the Harvester Devil. But if they manage to find a powerful celestial who's willing to get on their side, or maybe even a fey creature or an elemental, just some type of being that is not from the material plane that they can get on their side, now they have a way to actually kill it. Every single one of these different avenues has its own challenges. Just contacting a celestial, let alone convincing them that this Harvester Devil is a big enough problem for them to come to the material plane and help them deal with it, is going to be a challenge in and of itself. But maybe they decide to go for a fey creature. Just dealing with fey in general is a challenge in and of itself. You'd have better luck convincing Jeff Bezos not to be a greedy nightmare person. I also love this as a plan B to an adventure. Like maybe the party tries to stop a Harvester Devil and they just keep hitting brick wall after brick wall and ultimately decide, screw it, we're going to go try to find someone else to help us deal with this. The Harvester Devil goading them and laughing at them as they walk away, only for them to show up a month later with like a fucking angel who just walks in and says, "Heard you were talking shit."
Awesome. That would be a hilarious situation. You got the guys who, you got the people who like, be not afraid. Talking shit, mate.
At that point, the climax of this adventure is just the party rolling in and dealing with the other devils and underlings while their new best friend comes in and just stomps this dude into the dirt. I think that would just be funny and have a lot of great opportunities for roleplay. I do also like the Harvester Devil as an option for helping the party, with heavy air quotes there. In exchange for someone's immortal soul, perhaps the party can strike a deal and get something that they really need. This could be...
I don't think I've ever seen that Blazer. If that is a video, we could watch that for Media Monday. I need to open up a channel like for people to submit stuff that they want to see me watch. Because Bunny Ghost has a React channel, which we submit stuff. And I don't think I have anything like that set up. Another thing for the to-do list, Media Monday channel. Or Media Monday submissions or something like that.
A physical object related to this story, a powerful magic item, or something emotional even, like the resurrection of a fallen party member. Whatever the case, the Harvester Devil could make for a really interesting NPC just to interact with the party, if they're desperate enough. I love the idea of a less than moral character dying in a campaign, a character who's riding the line between neutrality and evil, and maybe their soul ends up in the Nine Hells, and after they die, a Harvester Devil then suddenly appears and approaches the party and tries to convince the Paladin or the Cleric to trade their soul in exchange for the resurrection of their friend. See, there's this whole thing in the D&D cosmology where different souls have different values to different people. A soul that belonged to a cutthroat or a murderer ending up in the Nine Hells, that's just kind of like your average soul. It makes sense, they're supposed to be there. But a soul that belonged to a virtuous paladin or cleric, or just any good aligned character really, has a lot more value in the Nine Hells because it's an exceptional soul. It's not really supposed to be there, and it probably is beholden to one of the good aligned gods, so it just adds this extra value as far as the devils are concerned.
This is part of the reason why I really like the Harvester. Like, you just do so much with them. From being like a bad guy, being like just a crook or scam artist, to being a demon lawyer in Phoenix Wright, the hellish version of Phoenix Wright. Maybe they have gay devils too. They call it Ace Attorney, but ain't anyone in that game Ace.
So a Harvester Devil would consider it a huge win if they can convince a virtuous character to trade their soul in exchange for the soul and life of their friend who just died. Something else I think is really interesting is that Harvester Devils in the Nine Hells will sometimes act as legal counsel. If you die, and your soul is under the ownership of a devil in the Nine Hells, once you arrive there, you're pretty much screwed. Unless you can convince a judge that the terms of your Faustian contract were somehow invalid. Usually you do this by convincing the judge that the devil's end of the bargain was not upheld. Maybe you were promised 1,000,000 gold and you only received 800,000 gold. Or in some cases, you can also get away with this by convincing the judge that you were forced to sign the contract under duress. This devil said, if you don't sign this, I'm gonna kill you. And that also invalidates the concept of an infernal contract. Whether it's actually true,
I can't help myself. As someone who keeps writing villains and antagonists, I love the concept of the Harvester Devil. I just love villains, and I've also realized I'm in a problem where I haven't written any protagonists other than Fafnir and the Water Dragon. Which I still only talk to Ash about the latter because I don't actually have a name for them. I have thought about just giving them the name Mordred or Mordred, but it doesn't seem fitting. Plus, I've seen from Daku, like, Daku's, like, their VTuber is not the one that represents them. Like, well, it does, but, like, it has a different name. I believe Daku's, the PNG tuber Daku uses, their name is Alistair, I believe. And also Swatch's Ghost. Their VTuber just Swatch. And I know they have one actually named Ghost, which I think they've recently used as a reactive. I think, like during a Zaki stream. It was either during a Zaki stream or during a Martin stream. I'm pretty sure it was Zaki though. Oh, why did I think Alistair? Yes, it's Alucard. That is my bad. Oh, I feel bad about that one because one of my OCs was actually made like due to Martin by Daku, which is Ophi. I really need to write lore for Ophi. I don't know what to do with Ophi. I love the design. I don't know what to do for a character. I've thought about like making. I want to fit Ophi into the world I've been writing, but I don't know how to go about it. I've been thinking since like a space or like celestial themed dragon, like maybe like an oracle of sorts. I need to like do also like I have another character like Chifuku. I have not given Chifuku any lore, and I really need to. I thought like about making Chifuku the girlfriend or partner, like wife or something like that of Reiko, who I'm currently redesigning. But I decided not to do that because I want to keep them separate. Reiko can like probably cross over to that world sometimes, but not much. They're ready to interact with one of my friend's characters.
True or not, if you demand a trial, you are entitled to stand before a pit fiend judge who will determine the validity of your claim. As the defendant, you can choose to have anyone you want represent you, but if you don't have legal counsel of your own present in the Nine Hells, you will be assigned a Harvester Devil to act as your attorney.
1 hour cooldown on that one. If you want to find it, you better find the link dumped from before. Well, I made sure that one had a long cooldown. That could also change, like, enough people speak up about it, but for my own anxiety's sake, I'd rather keep it on the 1 hour cooldown. So if people want to link it, they can, but they're gonna have to wait a while before they can do it again. I'm scared. Please be responsible. Like, focus on yourselves, please.
Kearney. This might seem like kind of a raw deal at first, because of course this random devil is going to side with all of the other devils, but something to keep in mind is that devils are lawful creatures, and they also often really hate each other. Living and working in the Nine Hells is an incredibly toxic work environment filled with backstabbing, rivalries, and basically everyone clawing their way to the top of a giant pyramid scheme. So your assigned lawyer is going to do the absolute best they can to defend you, and knowing what we know about Harvester Devils and legal loopholes, you couldn't really ask for better representation. Basically what I'm saying is if you ever wanted to play Phoenix Wright in Hell as a tabletop role-playing game, now you can. But no matter what you choose to do with this creature,
Eventual
in the
job,
description
that's
down
a
below,
bum
you will find
snow.
a Google document which contains all the information that you need to run this creature in 5th edition D&D. And of course, over on the Dungeon Dad Patreon page, you'll be able to find the Patreon exclusive stat block, which contains all the same information, but it's laid out in a fancy schmancy PDF
I hope everyone goes well the graduation plays. You
may have noticed
you've been
this
working
already,
so hard
but
on
there's
that.
some unique artwork on this PDF stat block
You
that is
deserve
not
all the
present
monies.
in any of the D&D books. One of my biggest gripes about making these monster stat blocks in the past has been that finding monster artwork is sometimes really challenging. A lot of it comes from sources that are low resolution, so when you put them on a big fancy stat block in high resolution, they look bad, or sometimes there just isn't monster artwork, or the monster artwork that exists is from that era of D&D where, you know, it was AD&D, it was new. Some of the old artwork is just a little rough is all I'm saying. And in some cases, there just isn't any artwork at all. But thanks to the support from all you lovely patrons out there, going forward, I'm going to be having original artwork commissioned of every monster that I talk about on this show. So every new Patreon stat block is going to have brand new artwork attached to it. This is so exciting for a bunch of different reasons. It's giving me a chance to work with some really talented artists across the community, and it's just so awesome to see brand new life breathed into some of these old creatures. This week's artwork for the Harvester Devil was done by the extremely talented Tam. I'll drop a link to their Twitter page down in the description below.
Many hands thing
Definitely
is
show them some love,
horrifying.
because they're super talented. Anyways, that aside, it is time for Patron of the Week. This week's randomly selected patron is Nameless Cultist. Thank you so much for the support.
Oh, it would
I
seem
expect the
that
blood sacrifice
command
light
is
on.
broken as
And
well.
thank you for
I'm gonna have
watching.
to split
I
that one back
appreciate
into
it
two.
immensely. And as always, if there is a
That was supposed to be
monster from an
showing-
older edition of D&D that you
That
would
was supposed to be
like
showing
see show
Instagram
up
and
on
TikTok
episode of
properly,
Monster
but
of the Week, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know in the monster
it
suggestion
seems to
channel on
have
our Discord.
broken and is considering it one whole
You
link.
might just see it show up on an episode in the future. Also, you may have noticed this lovely shirt I'm wearing. The Dungeon Dad merch store is now open. We've got
Check out
all
the merch
kinds of
store.
stuff in
I don't
stock,
know if
including
that
a bunch
shirt
of
is still
generic
available.
Dungeon Dad branded merch, but also this lovely D&D
That is a funny
merch
shirt.
So head over to the link in the description and check that out as well. Thank you all so much for your support.
Do check out
whether it's
their
Patreon, buying merch, or just
channel.
watching these videos.
Check out their channel, check out their merch, check out their Patreon, like, check out all that.
I'll see you
I love this dude. He's great.
until then.
Let me see what you linked me though. I think it was the short. Fairy who's on first. I'll let this go through and then we can do that. Oh, my side it's showing like the entire thing is blue. Well, other than the Instagram. So at least for y'all it's showing properly then.
Dungeon Dad revisits a classic from the before times.
Is that like, is that the
crow with multiple brains that share a single body? Look at
okay,
all
that's
those
not the
shiny
creature I thought it
magic
was.
trinkets. Maybe being bird-brained is
I know he's done a crow video before.
Next episode.
I don't remember this one.
Chrono-Tyran.
Oh no, it is this one. Okay.
Tune in next time.
That was the exact monster I thought it was. But I want to watch the video Blaze sent me real fast. So let me actually Google. Fair, who's on first? Who's this video by? This is by Bettina Levy. Let's put this on. It's only a minute long.
I wonder if a fairy's ability to steal names can be counteracted with a who's on first joke.
Oh, I know this musical. Oh, it's been so long since I've heard this.
May I have your name? What? What is your name? Yes. Your name is yes? No. What's my name? That's what I want to know. I don't know, but I love that.
Oh, I love dumb jokes about this.
Your gamer tag. Cool idea, but I don't know. I feel like that could still have some weight to it. Oh, can I have your friend's name?
Oh, it wasn't supposed to be like that, but
what's his name? Who? Your best
yeah, I
friend?
really didn't think about that one.
Is your best friend's
Can I?
name yes too? No. Then what is it? Who? Your best friend? Yes. What's
Well,
your
I can't
best
do
friend's
anything about
name?
that now.
No. Who? That's it. Who's your best friend? Yes. Ah! Well, what's your brother's name? Why? I just thought I'd ask. Well, I just thought I'd tell ya. Third base. I wonder if
Thank you for linking me that video, Blaze. Oh, that was funny. Let me link this in chat. Because if we are reacting live, I'm going to link it every single time. Let's see, what other thing can we... I know what to watch. We watched Yellow Dragon, so... Since we've watched Yellow Dragons, we have to watch the one who inspired my other character, which Skull's Drake's husband. Which is the Reef Giant. Of course. Oh, no.
Hello and welcome to Monster of the Week, the only show on the internet filmed live on location from the bottom of the sea. Today we're taking a literal deep dive down to the ocean floor to uncover yet another species of giant that was forgotten and left behind in past editions of Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to go over everything there is to know about these easygoing ocean dwellers, including their lore and ecology, as well as some plot hooks and story ideas for how you might use them in a D&D campaign. Then as always, we'll convert them from 2nd edition
I don't know how
AD&D
it's Thalassophobia.
into 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, so you
hopefully
can
it won't
bust
come
them
up
out at all
either,
your
but
5e
if you do,
adventures. I don't think it's any
sorry.
secret that I'm a big fan of giants, and the reef giants have quickly become one of my favorites. They have a really fun backstory, a ton of plot hook potential, and can fulfill the role of just about any NPC that you want to fit them into. But before we get all wrapped up in giant lore, I want to give a massive shout out to this week's sponsor, The Seeker's Guide to Enchanting Emporiums. The Seeker's Guide to Enchanting Emporiums is a brand new 250-page 5th edition compatible supplement all about spending that money. Gone are the days
We
of
will never
piling
skip
up
a
mountains of
sponsorship
gold
segment.
with nothing to spend it on.
Well,
This
we
vibrantly
react, we're gonna watch
illustrated
the entire
anthology
thing, start to
contains
finish,
over
no skipping.
15 unique magic item
It's
shops
the least we can
and
do, you
wandering
know?
merchants designed to be a perfect fit in your campaign. Each shop is filled with life and wonder, guaranteed to make your next fantasy shopping trip an adventure, literally. See, these shops are designed to be so much more than just a place to spend your gold. Each one is built from the ground up to be a full-on adventure location, if that's what you want it to be. Every locale is populated by a host of proprietors, staff, and even other customers, each with their own backstory and a wealth of role-playing prompts for the Dungeon Master. And of course, there are a ton of new magic items in this book to stock the shelves. So if that all sounds as exciting to you as it does to me, definitely check out the link in the pinned comment and the description down below and investigate the Kickstarter for yourself. So once again, thank you so much to the Seeker's Guide to Enchanting Emporiums for bringing us here to talk about this giant topic. So hopefully you've got a cool drink in your hand, preferably one garnished with some kind of fruit, because it's time to take a tropical vacation to the Sea of Stars and see exactly what this week's monster.
When I was doing my Discord, I didn't even have this on my brain. This one was purely coincidence. I know, like, a lot of stuff I do, like, for writing comes, like, lightly inspired from D&D, but the Discord server name was not one of them. This was entirely coincidental, because I just wanted, like, Water Dragon, but also, like, I like Celestial themes, so Sea of Stars made sense to me. This was entirely coincidence.
Is up to. Reef Giants first appeared in the Monstrous Compendium Al-Qadim Appendix for 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons. As the title would suggest, this book was filled with monsters from the Al-Qadim campaign setting. Among them, a few new giants would appear, such as the Desert Giant, the Jungle Giant, and today's monster, the Reef Giant. The very first bit of text we see about this creature goes on to explain that they are the loners of giant kind, and that they live in well-appointed mansions which appear to be mere huts from the outside. So naturally, I needed to know more, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. So let's dial it back a little bit and start.
I didn't even think about a name for my Reef Giants. Like, I realized today when I was talking to Ursk that I didn't actually give them a name, like, despite, like, already starting to, like, write things out for them. Which, granted, I've been doing that for, like, multiple characters now, because, I think I've had ideas for like a few characters now, but the only one who really recently got a name was actually Gar, which Gar exists as a joke character mostly, but I decided to actually like write them into the universe. So Gar, as I mentioned this earlier in stream, Gar's full name is Garfield. Just, it's misspelled. First name is 4 letters, Garr. R. The last name is a misspelling of field, which is FYLD. That way they're a little bit different, like legally distinct. Definitely not at all related to Catman. Original character, do not steal. Oh, I do. It doesn't help that I gave Gar pet crab I named Odie. Go get him, Odie. And a giant fucking crab burst out of the water like haha, you thought of the ship. No, it was a crab inside of a ship. That was actually like an idea from the Dragon Prince, because I'm pretty sure they did that twice, which was a massive crab using a ship as its like shell. And it was part of the captain. But for Gar's one of the 7 admirals, and he just has a giant pet crab. Because the idea for all the admirals is they all have a different giant pet animal, which is sea-bound. Well, I say sea-bound like just sea living mostly. Because Gar's pet does mostly live in the sea, but it's not bound to the sea. It can crawl into land. Anyways, back to this.
Start from the beginning. Reef giants are massive, one might even say giant, humanoid creatures. They have bronze skin, stark white hair, and subtle but visible fins around their neck or ears. In terms of clothing, they adorn themselves in relatively simple garments made from animal skins. However, in the water, they're usually buck-ass naked, aside from a tool belt for carrying supplies. Now, the second and final time these giants would ever appear.
I forgot about the fans and them being nudists. For some reason, I tricked myself into thinking they had blue skin. I don't know where I got that idea from, other than they are reef giants, which means water, and water means blue, and I don't know how I got to the conclusion that I did. Because I've seen this video before. Are they normally blue in Norse mythology? This is the case where I was associating them with the color white. But I generally do not have an idea why I thought they were blue. Well, misremember them being blue because I have watched this video before. It's just been a good while since I have. When did I watch this last time? This was 2 years ago, so I watched this on release, and I did watch it like sometime after that. Because back in the day, I would like put his videos on repeat. Now I've been saving them for stream, even though it hurts me. Hurts me not to watch them off stream now. It's like, oh, I have to control myself so much. But like, I want to make it feel a little more fun, like watching all through with everyone. I'm gonna have to like figure out a better time for Media Mondays, like the hours, because I'd imagine Ersk would love to be here for this, because Ersk loves the characters I've been trying to write, and Drake especially, and the one we jokingly call Drake's husband, which is a reef giant.
Here is in the 2nd edition Monstrous Manual. Their stats here are totally unchanged, but they did at least put a speedo on our boy, so that's nice. Now overall, reef giants tend to be pretty self-sufficient. They are scavengers by nature who survive by fishing and foraging the coral reef where they make their home for anything they can eat. As you can imagine, there is a ton of variety in the food enjoyed by a reef giant given the biodiversity of their home environment, so each giant is bound to have a long list of likes and dislikes when it comes to what they eat. They can net entire schools of fish in one fell swoop, and due to their massive strength...
That's an impidimp. I actually have a shiny... Well, I have a shiny from the Evolution in Scarlet Valley, which I named after one of Martin's D&D characters, which was just Dave. If you know anything about Dave, don't eat their soup. I hope someone gets a shiny. We can just keep naming them Dave. Just gather an army of Dave, and we tell Martin about it. Martin would love that because I actually did tell, like, I asked Martin, like, hey, can I name this thing Dave? And Martin said yes. So now I have. I'm pretty sure Dave even has like the birthday mark because I hunted it on my birthday because I was looking for Mimikyu. And I forgot there was multiple fairy types in that forest, and Impotence Evolution showed up. There's also a shiny Hatterene that showed up that day, which I think is the final evolution Hatterene. I don't remember those things' names. But yes, do not eat Dave's soup. Dave's soup is deadly.
A reef giant can swim for hours at a time before tiring. This is great for them because on any given day, they're not just hunting for food, but also for treasure. Pearls, sponges, corals, and any other sunken booty all rank among the items a reef giant is after whenever it dives into the ocean for the day. Now, a lot of
I like that idea. We didn't tell Martin about that one, but given the time, it's like 4, almost 5 in the morning for Martin, maybe 3 to 4. I'm not good with time conversion. I just know Martin's 5 hours ahead of me. Actually, no, that would be like 4 o'clock. I'm pretty sure. Numbers are hard. I don't like numbers. I'm not good at them.
This stuff may not be exceptionally useful to the giant itself, but if it can manage to bring a massive deep sea haul to the market of a nearby city, there is potential to earn a heap of gold. And with that gold, the giant is able to find access to all sorts of stuff it doesn't normally have access to. Metal goods, herd animals, and construction materials are usually at the top of the list for a reef giant, but who knows what they might spend all that gold on. Maybe they just get really into collecting Gundams or something. Now, a lot of the time, the giant doesn't even have to do the trading themselves, but rather they set up an agreement with a merchant's guild where they simply trade goods for goods.
I wonder if there's like a... That makes me wonder, is there a code line that would apply to me? Have I ever told you the Mudkip incident? Oh, my friends got on to me about that one. Oh, that's Yanni's starting to come up. So the Mudkip incident. So back in Scarlet and Violet, I was doing like a shiny only run, like not a serious one, but for certain bosses and like just certain progression points, I would run the Pokemon to use in that fight. And for one of the Blueberry Leaf 4, I decided to hunt Mudkip, who only shows up in a cave lit by fire. And guess who's red-green colorblind, but somehow mostly affects blues, purples, and pinks? Yeah, you can see where this is going, huh? So I did eventually find the shiny Mudkip, but when I did, I didn't see it at first. And then when I did see it, I wasn't sure if I did see it. Well, I wasn't sure if I was looking at the right one. I stared at it for literally 5 minutes next to like a normal one. I was like, okay, which one of you is shiny? Like one of them was setting me off a little bit, like telling me like something was off, but I could not tell. So eventually I just decided I'm just gonna run to this one, and that was a shiny. So I do have it caught. It's a Swampert. It's a Swampert now. And then there's Yanmega. Yanmega hurts me. For years, literal years, I thought Yanmega's shiny was purple. I've been playing it since I've played Pokemon since Generation 4. I've loved Yanmega since Generation 4. I've loved it shiny since Generation 4. And it took me until PLA to find out its shiny is blue. Yanmega is not a purple shiny. It's a dark blue shiny. And I did eventually see it because I decided like, hey, let's throw it out in the sunlight in PLA. I looked closely, like as close as I could. The sunlight reflecting off of it, it was shining as blue. Yanmega is not a purple shiny as I used to think it was. Whenever I mention this to Martin, like, why the hell did you think it was purple? Yeah, I found out that day I was like real colorblind. Yep, since I was a literal child, I thought shiny Yanmega was purple. I was so happy thinking it was purple because purple is like one of my favorite colors. And then I see it's blue. And PLA, 4 generations later. Hold on. So like 2006? Legends Arceus was what? 2002. For that long, I thought it was purple. That's what? 2006, 2022. It's like 16 years. For 16 years, oh no, fix. For 16 years, I thought Yanmega Shiny was purple. Like, even for a little bit of time after that, I still thought, no, surely it's purple. Like, no, everyone was telling me it was blue. Everyone was telling me I was colorblind. It's like, oh, how did I, oh. And you want to know the Pokemon I suck at trying hunting the most now that I realize it? The Dunsparce. Or the Dunsparce and the Dunsparce. I can't see them. I literally cannot see them. And I was trying to shiny hunt them. There was a point I was actively shiny hunting them. and I could not see them. I ran into one, trying to avoid that same one, ran into it by accident. I didn't realize it was shiny until it sparkled. I was standing in front of the shiny Dunsparce. I was trying to avoid it because I didn't realize it was shiny. I looked directly at it, tried to run around. It's like, hey, no, you're in the way. I need to get rid of you. Well, no, I have to get around you because I don't want to fight you. I didn't realize I should have encountered it sooner, and I only encountered it by accident. If I didn't fail to avoid that encounter, I would have lost a shiny without even realizing it. Because the only change on them, the blue turns to light pink. I can't see those colors too well. Like, next to each other, they look the same to me. Which sounds stupid, but like that's the type of colorblindness I have. Because I remember Yatica actually explained this to me. Like, the level of red that shade of pink and purple goes into does hit the range of my colorblindness. So it's why I can see blue, but putting blue and pink next to each other, like certain shades, that's when the mix-up happens. It's ironic too, because look at my coloration. One of the main colors is a pinkish purple, or purplish pink. I don't know. I've seen it called pink. I've seen it called purple. I've seen it called magenta. I don't know what it's called. Oh, I haven't even tried to look at that thing shiny. I can't imagine how bad it's going to be. Back to the video.
Cutting out the gold.
We're not even halfway through.
Something also mentioned, which is just a tiny little detail, but a detail I love, is that reef giants are particularly fond of sweets. They just really enjoy baked goods like pies or cakes and candies. So often, sweets are one of the things they take extra time to try and barter for if given the chance. But their taste in food is not the only thing decadent about them.
I don't think I've seen it shiny because I don't think I have the version of the game it can appear in. I think that's a shield exclusive, and I have sword. That's also probably why I put shield up on the throne. It's because I need to get a new copy of the game. Because it's hard to explain. I don't really like to explain this part. So yeah, I put it's at the very bottom of the list because, well, of course it's going to be on the bottom of the list. But that is one of the games I have on the list for when we get to the Switch 2 is going to be Pokemon Sword or Shield. And eventually, I want to do shiny hunting like, what's it called? The Dynamax eventually with the community. That's why the version I put up on Throne is both the base game and the DLCs. That's why it's also like more expensive than it normally should be. Though granted, like even at that price, like in fact I can't get that at a discount on Throne, which kind of sucks, but that's the only way means to get it that I was aware of. I haven't a clue on that one. I thought it was like a dark brown. I thought his score was like just dark brown.
The reef giant, though. We'll circle back to that in a second. They are amphibious creatures, of course, so they can choose to live under the sea, on a small island, or in most cases, a combination of both. And while you may expect them to live in a simple dwelling, maybe even just sleeping under the stars, you'd be wrong. I mean, unless you were paying attention to the thing I said earlier about them living in mansion homes, because these giants live in straight up luxury. When establishing their new home, every reef giant takes on the task of constructing a home that would make even the most affluent hosts on MTV Cribs blush. Whether they choose to build underwater or on land, or some combination of the two, every reef giant home is not only massive, even by giant standards, but also constructed with the utmost ideals of comfort in mind. The outside is always concealed well to appear merely as part of the surrounding landscape in order to throw off looters or, gods forbid, adventurers, but inside, it's a whole different story. Their mansion is always stocked with furniture, art, oddities, and decor, all collected by the reef giant over a tremendously long life of treasure hunting. So while the reef giant may turn a
Just go back. I want to say that again.
tremendously long life of treasure hunting.
Just a stupid little hat added onto this. So good. I love that. It's like, it's stupid. It's like, yes, like near entirely naked except for their loincloth, their belt, and the stupid little hat.
So while the reef giant may turn a great profit at the market,
Hi, Brandy. How you doing today? Or tonight? Because I know we're in the same time zone.
Every trinket, no matter how big or small, tells a story of a great day scouring the sea floor for baubles. All of this to say, every reef giant home is bound to be impressive, at least for the few creatures that ever see it. Because as I mentioned,
Jupiter, can we get a shout-out for my friend?
Once they reach the age
because
of
Brandy is a fellow streamer.
They venture out into the
They
ocean
deserve
to do
love.
their own
Get
thing,
them.
sometimes for the entirety of their 600-year lifespan.
The
However,
pains of
there is
Meld. I
always the
can't
possibility,
do the
either
shouties
through
that fast.
intention or
And I'm
coincidence,
lazy.
that two reef giants meet and fall in love. When a pair of reef giants decides to mate, they do so for life, living together in a tropical paradise of their own making. Should they ever have children, those children will of course stay with their parents until it's time for them to venture out and find a home of their own.
Yeah,
with one
fuck
exception.
the person
In
I
Reef
was
giant
wanting to
tradition, it is often
raid it
the
out.
eldest daughter
I mean,
of
I-
any giant family
I
who
wasn't
finds
expecting
themselves in
arcade
a
to go that
somewhat
long.
unique position. Rather than
Advanced
leave
watch,
her
everyone
giant's
needs it.
mansion after high school, she instead remains behind to care for her parents.
What are you doing, Brandy? I
as
hope you're
they
doing well
age.
today.
After all, eventually age catches up with all of us, even giants, and they're not going to be out there hunting for
Oh,
treasure
wait,
at
no balls.
590
Eat
years
balls.
old.
Eat balls.
So they rely on their eldest daughter to do that for them, which might seem like kind of a bum deal at first, but this labor is not without its reward. Once her parents pass on to the next life, the eldest daughter inherits everything that belonged to both her parents, including the mansion she was raised in. This is obviously a tremendous amount of wealth, but if she happens to be the eldest daughter of another one-time eldest daughter, you can see how this starts to add up. Because of this, there are a select few reef giants
but
out there
Garrett
who have
on Lurkies this
mansions and
time.
hordes of wealth that date
I
back
like Garrett.
multiple
Garrett's a really good
generations,
bean.
potentially thousands of years. So a
We've
reef
about
giant with all this wealth
a
and
little
privilege
bit under 50
finds
minutes left of the
herself
stream,
with the
so
world at her fingertips.
if
and
Garrett is
hundreds
still
of
alive by
years to
then, I
enjoy.
think
But as
I
word
might
spreads
raid
among
into
the reef
them,
giants
though.
that the eldest daughter of a wealthy
So Garrett's
family
playing
has just
Pragmata.
become
I
the
don't
official
know if anyone in
mistress of
chat's
the
trying to avoid
mansion.
spoilers for that one.
Something really interesting
I
happened.
don't really intend to play it myself, though.
Dozens of
It doesn't look
suitors
like my
from
type of
the surrounding
game.
area will immediately begin vying for the attention of the most eligible bachelorette on the sea floor. And what this bachelorette decides to do is entirely
Congrats
up
on the
to
catch,
her.
Jupiter.
Because while the reef giants do have this established cultural norm of the eldest daughter being the one to look after her parents and then being the inheritor of all their wealth, there's no tradition or really any protocol stating that she has to get married. In some cases, she may be completely uninterested in finding a partner, or maybe even already have a love interest, in which case the issue is pretty well resolved. However, some reef giants, of course, see this as an opportunity. After all, they've basically just become the most desirable individual among their species for miles around, so they can pick and choose who they will even entertain as a possible match, which is where the competition truly begins.
I picked Ken Griffey Jr.
In game show-esque fashion, any suitors who wish to put their name forward will do their utmost to not only prove themselves to the mistress, but also to undermine their competition. What ensues is a grand drama involving competitive fishing, diving, surfing, and anything else the lady of the house might put forward as an opportunity for a suitor to test their mettle. The exact nature of this competition and to what degree success is weighed in favor or against specific parties obviously depends on the individual reef giant mistress in question, but the fact that all of this is just common practice in reef giant society is not only hilarious to me, but also a situation rife with plot hooks. But we'll get to that in due time. For now,
I think actually, too, isn't Kakuna like a dark green for the shiny? It's almost like, well, its own coloration like yellowy, like yellow tan, like how do you describe that one? Honey colored, maybe? Like, it makes it like it's pretty of a bee. But we can be bees. This is good news.
But we can be bees. This is good news.
I was actually like thinking about making that little sound like fan Beemon, but I remembered, oh right, Ursk doesn't like bees, so I asked Ursk to like rate Purumon, and they said it didn't trigger them, so we made that little guy. Because it was either that, the little slime guy, or Queen Beemon.
Courtship rituals.
Purumon
Talk about
did
what
best.
kind of abilities these guys actually have. For as long as
Okay, I
there
should
have
send it to
been
Ursk
giants in
eventually.
D&D, there have been some staples that apply to all of them. For the most part, they're big
Meh.
and they hit like a truck, and our reef giant is no exception.
Megatron?
Clocking in at CR 10, the reef giant sits comfortably between cloud and storm giants in terms of established power levels. And in terms of stats, they're set up the way that you'd expect most giants to be set up. They have an absurdly high strength score and great constitution, along with a solid wisdom and charisma to boot. Due to the fact that they spend so much time in the deepest parts of the ocean, they are also straight up immune to cold damage, and they have dark vision. They've also got a swim speed of 60 feet and the amphibious trait. I feel like those are both things you would assume, but it's worth mentioning. As far as weapons, the Reef Giant makes use of a classic weapon combo you don't often see in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, that being the net and trident. Using their multi-attack, they can make an attack with their net, which, if it hits, restrains the creature they're attacking, and then they can make 2 trident attacks. This is especially brutal because if that net attack connects, not only will you have to spend your next turn trying to break out of the net, but the 2 follow-up trident strikes will have advantage on the attack roll, which is a little scary. It also has a rock attack, of course, for when it just needs to crush someone with a boulder. It's a pretty simple but effective way to just kill someone with a rock from far away. But the Reef Giant's truly lethal move is something called Whirlpool. Not that kind of whirlpool. This kind of whirlpool.
Yeah, he's the Thalassophobia warning.
Water, such as, I don't know,
I had a feeling it was going to be here.
Any creatures within 60 feet of it are dragged 15 feet closer and take 4d6 bludgeoning damage. Then, they have to make a strength saving throw. However, if you fail the save by 5 or more, not only do you take the full amount of damage, but you also start...
Yep, fear of deep dark waters, and that is most often where you will find a reef giant. It's also why I made him the honorary admiral of my character called Drake, because Drake is the yellow dragon. Yellow dragons are amphibious, and their breath flasks explodes underwater. You make their best friend a reef giant who's a trident that can have electricity, a huge net, and make whirlpools. Yeah, they're gonna fight pretty well together. So, like, you happen to get near the island where both of them are gonna be there at the same time, you're just in for a world of pain.
Start to drown. Once you run out of air, assuming you need to breathe, you can remain conscious for a number of
I might have to do that because I mentioned before that reef giant does not have a name yet. I've been trying to think of one. I've been talking to Ashley and Ursk about it. As a joke, I was like thinking about naming them Ursk or Erskine, or I don't know how Ursk says their full name. Or Okay, how do I make it? How do I make their name Josh make sense? Because Drake's actually like, I'm pretty sure I already mentioned it, but Drake is actually not their true name. Like, well, their alias name is Christopher Drake. Their proper name, their true name, is Flaudux. I really like just combining words. Like, Flaudux is a combination of 3 words. I was really like, happy with how that name came out. It is Flauvum, which means yellow in Latin, Fraudum, which means trick in Latin, and of course Dux, which which means captain in Latin. But I'm just thinking, quantum ducks.
Rounds equal to your constitution modifier. That means if you have a 14 con, you get 2 rounds before dropping to 0 hit points. You do always get at least 1 round to act here, so in the event that your con is a negative number or a 0, you will still have those precious 6 seconds to do something. Also, stop building characters with negative constitution modifiers. You know who you are. But if we get to the point where drowning in a
I don't know anything about stats, sadly. I've never actually played D&D.
Doesn't stop the
I have so much anxiety.
You know what that means? Fish spells to choose.
Forgot about that one. The way it was timed with the video, I was like, wait, did he put a fish in here?
Hey,
Like, no,
kids,
it's just
look!
Jupiter.
There's fungus among us.
Oh, I love how he added those. Fuck, there was. I thought about mentioning another sound. I had the idea for another sound alert, and now I'm forgetting what it was. Fuck. Well, I had an idea for a 5th alert, and now I've forgotten it. Fuck me. What was it? Now I've forgotten what I was wanting to add. This is why I need to add stuff to do to the list of stuff to do as soon as I think of these things, or else I'm going to forget.
Because it doesn't have sleeves. They're mostly just...
You'd be surprised. I forgot about the reverter one for months, and I was supposed to get that with me sooner.
Magic. At will, they can do things like create or destroy water, shape water, water breathing, and water walk. Not incredibly useful in combat, but I suppose water breathing could be used to save a drowning ally. 3 times per day, it's got Fog Cloud, Misty Step, and Wall of Water, all of which are potentially very useful in combat, if not somewhat circumstantial. And once per day, it can cast Control Weather, which may not be a combat spell, but if the giant knows it's going to be engaging in battle, if it has time to kind of set up the environment in a way that suits it, that's always nice. All in all, a really solid stat block with a few circumstantial combat tricks that is bound to keep the enemy on their toes. I feel like this is fairly obvious, but the Reef Giant does thrive in battle when it can get itself and its opponent in the water. Its use of a trident as well is not just a flavorful thing. Tridents are one of the few weapons that don't suffer any penalties when used in underwater combat, so it makes sense. While not always realistic, if a Reef Giant does find itself in a fight, its #1 priority should always be trying to get everyone submerged.
I don't think I've never watched the Aquaman movie. Is it any good? Like, I've heard about it. I never heard if it was any good. I don't actually know. Like, there's only like a few movies that I'm having to watch I kept forgetting about, like Transformers, the Beast movie, I forgot what it was called. The Aquaman movie, because I'm pretty sure it's like the footage he's using here is from Aquaman. And there's like two or three Godzilla movies I still haven't watched yet, and then what's the other one I'm trying to remember? Sonic 3, Transformers, and Godzilla.
Merged, because that's where this creature goes from dangerous to deadly. But at the end of the day, I think this creature's biggest strength and where it truly shines is in its plot hook potential. So,
plot hook, get it? Because it's underwater. It's got a hook.
Explore a few.
I'm sorry, please don't leave. Please don't click off the video. or stream.
So there are tons of ways you can use a reef giant to tell a story. I love how diverse this creature is because you can truly make it as dire or as comedic
Thanks for
as
looking,
you want it to
Jupiter.
be. First and foremost, I really like the idea of a reef giant running
I was like, I
an
said the
autonomous
artwork of
shop
the
in a
giant is
port
hot.
town. Maybe the giant themselves aren't even running the storefront, but they have a human friend who does the wheeling and dealing, and the giant brings in daily hauls of new goods to stock the shelves. That could fit into your story in lots of different ways, but at the very least, having an interesting shop in town where players can go and talk to the owner and spend their gold is always going to be a win with the folks at a table. Now, I apologize in advance for this next one, but the dad in my soul won't let me not say it. So, I propose you have a reef giant running a dive bar. Get it? Like a dive bar. Because it, but seriously, puns aside, having a reef giant just low-key running a drinking establishment.
It's like he just cut himself off, which is kidding me.
Giant running a dive bar. Get it? Like a dive bar. Because it, but seriously, puns aside, having a reef giant just low-key running a drinking establishment in an air bubble under the sea for sentient creatures
stupid stuff that gets me.
Great. Speaking of which, there are a lot of creatures who don't love reef giants, specifically merfolk and tritons. They often view the reef giants' plundering of the ocean as either an infringement on their territory or just bad for the environment, so they tend to dislike or actively hate reef giants. But that can be a great point of contention for the dungeon master. The players might be hired by some tritons to go take out a reef giant only to find themselves working through its mansion like some kind of mini dungeon. Or maybe they just stumble upon the mansion of a reef giant who died alone some time ago, and since then all manner of less friendly sea creatures have taken up residence in the manse. Only by finding the giant's bones and performing a proper funeral can they put the soul to rest and maybe loot a few items on the way out.
Hey, Blaze, look, is that bug you're talking about in chat? It's an event spawn.
Speaking of which, maybe the actual adventure is the players trying to attain some kind of item that is in a reef giant's mansion. Say you had a ship crossing the ocean carrying all manner of treasure, and among the goods was a specific magic item of tremendous power. Unfortunately, that ship was lost at sea, believed to have gone down in a kraken attack. Well, that sucks for everyone on board. For the reef giant, a shipwreck is a potential jackpot find. Not knowing what it was, maybe the reef giant took this object of immense power and simply hung it up like a decoration in his mansion. Now, after much detective work, the party has tracked it down and has to either convince the reef giant to part with it or plan a heist. I don't know about you, but an underwater mansion heist stealing from a giant sounds like an awesome adventure. There is also another facet of reef giant culture that we haven't really talked about yet, and that is their penchant for sailing. They know the sea extremely well and can make incredible sailors if they can find a
Blaze, send me the entire paragraph for later. I'm actually interested in that. Also, look, send me the pronunciation of that too. I am curious. I do want to see if that would work. That might actually be a good name for them. The entire idea of the reef giant I've been working on is he's quite literally he's gonna be a surfer bro. But so like he's gonna be like the one person who Drake actually like relies on, like since Drake's a dragon, Josh reef giant, like they both have very long lifespans. They are the only ones on the crew proper who can understand like they are going to outlive and have outlived many of their companions and friends. It's not a feeling most mortals in their world would understand. But Drake and the reef giant, like that is something they can understand. It's also why the reef giant's like an honorary crewmate, like an honorary admiral. But he's part of the crew, just honorary admiral, but he can't. He's too big to fit on any of the ship, so he stays by the island. Because they do have an island as a home base, and the reef giants, So like they have like the above part of the island and the under part of the island. The under part of the island is the mansion of sorts, which is their vault for their treasures. Like the treasures being like the actual like mementos of like fallen comrades, like or those who have passed, along with their actual treasures. Like their vaults, like important stuff, like like all that stuff. Treasures, mementos. Even to an extent, they do have a graveyard down there for their like those who actually were okay being buried there, and others who want to be buried or like scattered elsewhere, like we're allowed to do that, including just to be with their families. Like when you're part of Drake's crew or any of their admirals, they will even take care of your family. Like, they go out of their way. Like they are not good people, but that they are bad guys, but they are not bad guys. They have like the idea of the crew I've been writing is like they are villains or antagonists. Like they will rob, pillage, like do all that stuff, but they have a very strong sense of family. Like not even just blood ties, like found family. Like, that's their entire thing. Like none of them are related to my blood. Well, some of them could be, but Drake and his admirals are not. Like they are a found family of sorts. And that is something like I was like really excited to write. And I've talked to the Earth a lot about Drake, because Drake has had to learn how he has to act as a captain, because he gets very emotional, and he like when he's around those he cares about, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. It's only around those who he doesn't know or doesn't know him that he will hide how he actually feels. Which he is still selfish to an extent. Because of course, like he wants treasure, he wants like all those like he does want to be rich. Like he does act like a standard pirate to a lot of extents, but I still want to make him like, hey, he's still relatable. He just also knows he's not a good person. I'm gonna have so many ideas for the Reef Giants. And of course, since Ernst pointed out what I was doing with the Reef Giant Drake, Old Man Yowie. So yeah, we've effectively jumped to. They're just the other father of the crew. Welcome back, Jupiter.
Ship large enough to accommodate them, but a reef giant sailing the high seas,
Old
either
Man
as
Pirate
captain
Yowie.
or even just a member of the crew, could make for a really fun NPC to play, no matter the role they end up in. Maybe they're even a traveling merchant sailing the seas with all their rare finds on a ship barely big enough to contain them and their horde, but if you happen to spot them and pull up with the boat of your own,
That game looks familiar.
might
What
have
is
a chance
this?
to buy some cool stuff. Now another thing I want to talk about, and something I think is worth considering for those of us
I forgot they had a
high
really
fantasy
toony Zelda
Forgotten
game.
Realms style campaign, is where the reef giant fits in with the concept of the ordning. I bring this up in literally every giant video I do because in my opinion, it's a very important thing to consider. For those unaware, crash course, the ordning is a system of organization that giants use to determine who's in charge. It's basically
I still haven't figured out what Drake's favorite letter is going to be. I'm going to have to go out to sea to find it. I'm sorry, please don't click on the video stream.
a caste
Oh, that
system
was
with hill
stupid.
giants at the bottom and storm giants at the top, which also coincides with the power level of each giant respectively. In the Al-Qadim setting, the ordning isn't really a thing, or at least it's not mentioned in their source material, so we're just kind of left to invent our own lore there. Personally, I love the idea that they were supposed to fit somewhere between cloud giants and storm giants since it's reflective of their power, but being loners, they just dipped from the ordning entirely, deciding they wanted nothing to do with the other giants and their politics. Not only does that seem fitting to me, but I also think it's yet another opportunity for controversy.
That's very much a thing with the Reef Giant writing. He doesn't interact with anyone unless they show up at the island, which most people are not insane enough to go on Drake's Island because they know there's going to be a Reef Giant there defending the place. Because he can't fit on the ships, so he stays behind. He's the guardian of the island. And if him and Drake are there at the same time, yeah, you're doomed. Like, if the entire, like, there's like, so there's like a little event I've been writing for the crew, which is a day they all gather on the island. And if they're all gathered on the island, you're screwed. You have the admirals to deal with. You have the reef to deal with. You have Drake to deal with. And you have the pets of all the admirals, which are massive sea monsters. Because all of them are going to have a massive sea monster, except for the reef giants and Drake. Which means 7 huge beasts to deal with. Like, you show up at the island during that festivity, like, no, you're doomed. Just give up there. Forfeit your life. Never show up at their island if they're all there. Your best bet, like, hilariously, the best bet, even though it's still screwed, is just dealing with the reef giant by themselves. Because if Drake's there, because that reef giant's always going to be there. Like, either way, you are screwed if you go to that island and you're an enemy. You see, these guys are my favorite. My favorite of my characters to write.
Since storm giants do sometimes live in the depths of the sea, perhaps there is a conflict between a storm giant and a reef giant, which the party gets embroiled in. Lastly, I want to talk about the thing that made me decide to do a video about this creature in the first place. And that is the fact that you can just run a reef giant encounter like it's an episode of The Bachelorette.
I feel like you're here to make out with a bunch of dudes on TV.
Maybe the party gets intermingled in a reef giant courtship ritual, where a bunch of giants are all vying for the hand of a newly eligible bachelorette with a ton of money. There are a lot of different ways you could tackle this. Maybe the party is working with the mistress to help her narrow down the selection by spying on all the other giants, or even testing
bald
them in some
Jolteon. I
way
forgot all
with
about
the
it.
promise of a reward if they help her find a suitable mate.
Why is it bald?
Or perhaps the party is friends with the reef giant who is
No.
requesting that the party help them in these courtship games. Maybe
I swear
he
some of
needs
these
a
reef
dope
giants look
magic
like
surfboard to
Hercules
help him
from
win
Fate.
the surfing competition, and offers to pay the party if they can find it. But when they do find it, it turns out that it's been cursed by another one of the reef giants trying to sabotage their boy, so they have to bring the magic surfboard to a temple to get it cleansed, and then run it back to the beach just in time for the contest. There are a lot of things you could do here, but just having a reef giant courtship contest as the backdrop of any kind of small adventure honestly sounds like a really lighthearted and fun opportunity for a game. But however you choose to use this monster, if you do want to use it, as always, linked in the description down below is a Google document which contains all the stats, lore, and information about this creature that you will need to successfully run it at your 5th edition game table.
I didn't even know they had
one
a.
of my lovely patrons over
There's
on the
bald
Dungeon Dad
plushie.
Patreon page.
Now I
You
want to
can
see
find
this.
The Dungeon Dad
What if
Patreon
that's radar
style
about that one?
block, which contains all the same information, just presented in a nicely formatted high-res PDF with the new updated artwork done this week by the lovely Tam. So massive shout out to all you patrons out there watching for helping me do what I do here. I literally couldn't do it without you. And a tremendous shout out goes out to our randomly selected Patron of the Week. This week's randomly selected patron is Evil Chan. Thank you so much for your support, no matter
Look at
which
those
side of
fish.
the alignment spectrum
You know
you
what that
wind
means?
up on.
Fish.
And thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing here and you want to see more content like this, please leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel.
You know what that
All
means,
stuff
fish.
is free and helps me out tremendously. And of course, if there's a monster from an older version of D&D or some other tabletop game such as Pathfinder, Numenera, whatever, let me know in the comments down below what creature you'd like to see.
'Cause I'm-
Who knows? You might see it
Fuck.
show up on an episode of Monster of the Week. If
Why
you
is
want to
it-
get extra involved with the Dungeon Dad community,
Did it
you can find
link
a link to our Discord
wrong?
description down there as well, where we have a monster suggestions channel.
Okay,
and
now
all kinds
it's
of other
linking
channels
as
with all
the
kinds of cool
fairy
stuff,
video.
such
What
as
the hell?
Homebrew monster contests,
Hold on.
chatting about D&D, posting memes, Discord.
Ignore the link I just posted while fixing it.
Subscribe to me on Patreon, and you feel like throwing some financial support my way, I definitely encourage you to at least check it out. $3 a month. If you got the $3 to spare, helps me keep all my hot lights turned on. Anyways, enough plugging myself and all my socials and all of that. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was super fun to talk about, and I just love these guys. I want to write a campaign all around reef giants because
There we
I
go.
think they're just neat. But anyways, that's all I got for you this week. As always, stick around to the last
Check out
like,
Dungeon
10
Dad.
seconds or
They're
whatever
lovely.
it is
I
for
love their
preview
videos.
What's coming next week? It's gonna be a weird one, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.
I don't have any Lego sound. What were you hearing? Okay, we might have...
creature.
Hmm?
You're serious?
Hold on.
Alright.
What is this? Next time.
Perhaps the most useless monster to ever grace the pages of a
The
D&D
hell
book
is that?
appears. An egg-shaped mass with tentacles for hair. But wait, there seems to be some hidden secret behind its eyes.
The hell is that?
Next episode, Wingless Wonder. Tune in next time for lots more fan service.
Huh? Huh? What was that? That was a Chrono Tyrant down there. But there's one more thing I want to watch tonight. Because we're going from dragons to devils to reef giant to let's go for Nightmare Fuel. Where is it? Oh, this is gonna be a long one too. Oh wait, this is a good one too. I do know about this one. I do know about this one. Fuck. Given the time we have, we'll go for the Boneyard video this time, and next week next Media Monday we will have the Bagman video. We're still going to like more horror vibes with this one. Because we need spookier vibes
Skeletons may be
at
both
midnight.
spooky and scary, but did you know that they're eager to be ripped out of your body if the conditions are right? That's foreshadowing for later. Welcome to Monster of the Week, the only show on the internet that thinks undead should be allowed to vote. After all, nobody's as boned up on spicy political takes as a skeleton, and nothing bones up on anything quite like this week's
Actually,
Monster of the
we'll
Week.
watch one more short after this, which is related. I just have to actually remember it.
My goal this week is to go over the Boneyard's in-game lore, its publication history, some combat encounter ideas, and of course to present
I do
you
like
with
it's
some
like
brand new.
it's not like a main monster, like something that can have a personality, but
because what this monster lacks in meat, it more than makes up for in.
I like the situations that we use. Or also need to read in chat for need to read in chat for anyone who wants it. That is an event spawn.
In the year 2004, Andy Collins and Bruce Cordell said, "You know what we need more
is Garrett
of?
ending?
Some spooky ass shit." And with what I'm sure was
Because
a
Garrett's not playing
resounding
Pragmata
"Let's
now."
go" from everyone in the office, Wizards of the Coast published Libris Mortis, the Book of Undead. Like the name would suggest, this book is packed
It
to
would
the
seem Garrett is
gills
ending.
with all kinds of stuff pertaining to necromancy
Fuck.
and undead fellas.
Well,
And
I have
like
to find
most
another raid target
edition
because
books, you
I
have
was
a
lurking
wide array
Arcadia
of
to
character
try and raid them. I was
options,
lurking Garrett to try and raid them,
equipment, and
but
just a
it would
wacky
seem
new
Garrett is
monsters.
raiding
And
L4
on
on
page
it.
89,
Which I
nestled
think
right
so.
between the bone rat swarm and the brain in a
Yeah,
jar.
they're raiding
yes,
out.
they are both on the list of monsters for upcoming videos. Don't worry. We see the Boneyard. Now, what a particularly spooky skeleton. Boneyards are exactly what they appear to be. Massive amalgamated
I just need
creatures
someone who can
built
like do
entirely
this stuff easier
from
for me.
bones. The most
Because
common
Mel does
form they
not
take
offer
is
me a lot of the
huge
options it should be
bony
offering.
serpent with some kind
Hopefully
of
they
beast
update
skull
that,
as
or
the
I
head.
figure out
However,
how to use this thing
this
better.
creature's form is entirely fluid, so they can really appear and take on any shape that they want. One might be a giant serpent, and another might be humanoid in
Egg,
shape,
an
while
egg.
still
What egg is
another
that?
might appear to manifest
Starter
as just a
egg,
tidal
maybe?
wave of bones. There are literally no rules. So whatever you think is the creepiest shape for all these skeletal components to be in,
I'm going to find someone else to read it.
that's the
I'm
shape
going
they
to
should
find someone
take
else to
on.
lurk in.
You know, unlike
Oh,
most
baby
undead
egg.
creatures, they are fully sentient. With an intelligence score of 18,
I see Plum
they
is
definitely know
live. What's Plum
going on.
playing?
Probably even better than most adventurers do. Especially the paladin.
That is
And,
Warframe.
believe it or not,
Though I've raided
the
Plum
40-foot
twice
serpentine
recently,
creature made
so
entirely of
they want to
bones
spread it
is
out a little
not
bit.
a naturally occurring organism.
But we can
like
be
pretty
these.
well
This
all
is
undead
good
abominations
news.
that should not be. They are created creatures. If created intentionally, there is a foul ritual which a
I was hitting the
necromancer
wrong
must
button.
perform at a location with a lot of bones present. Your obvious choices would be something like a graveyard or a battlefield. However, the only
Oh, I didn't
condition
hit
that
that
must
button.
be met is that the magic user in question has access to
I
a
see
ton
Frost
of
is
skeletal
live.
components. Once this ritual summoning spell has been cast, all the bones amalgamate
Courtney's
together, and what do
live.
you know? It's a boneyard.
You see Mocha live
Unless the
too.
necromancer has a way
And
to
Kaida just went
bind
live.
the creature into service, the newly born
Spiny
boneyard isn't really
Stormwolf is live
beholden
too.
to anyone or anything.
I've never rated
As a
some, like, they don't
sentient
always play
creature,
World
it is
of Warcraft,
totally
though.
capable of thinking for itself. So even if it is bonded to its creator or
Hmm.
someone else for
I've been
whatever
hearing
reason,
things from Red Claw
if it's
about that
not
game. I might
satisfied
be
with the way
interested.
it's being
I don't know.
treated, it can and will actively seek ways to escape.
Tempest is
What
live,
any
or
given
Magna.
boneyard might hope to achieve is anyone's best guess. But the
Oh
one
wait, I
thing
think I know what
they
you're
all have
hearing.
in common is an
Did you hear just now?
overwhelming urge to subsume more bones. In much the same way that a living animal is driven by its instinct to eat and feed itself, the boneyard
Yeah,
wants
that's
to
my
add
phone's
to its
notification going
form
off.
by collecting
It's the
more
Monster Hunter
skeletons
notification.
and using their bones to replace
The
old
item
and
collection sound from
destroyed
Monster
bones
Hunter.
that were previously part
It's
of its
also some of my
form.
Twitch
The
sounds,
obvious
but
and probably
since
easiest
I
way
don't
for it to
have
do this is to find and
I don't have subs or
absorb
bits
other
enabled
corpses, or even
because I'm not
lesser
affiliate
undead,
yet.
such as regular skeletons.
That's the same
But
stuff
when
I
the
have for
bone
my
supply
subscribers
runs
and my
dry,
bits, but
how do we think that the boneyard might best feed its
since I
craving
don't
for
have
osseous
those, you're
matter?
not going to be able to hear
This
them.
is the part of the video where we talk about how it can rip out skeletons.
I'm just looking for someone who can raid out too soon.
The boneyard is a pretty simple, if not extremely effective combatant. It only has one attack, and it's a very powerful bite. And this bite attack does some piercing damage, as one would expect, but if the target has a skeleton, like most things do, the boneyard is able to pull
Not
the victim's bones
many
and try to incorporate them into its
options.
body. Even
Did
if
we
the creature
raid?
it's biting
We could raid
is
Nixie,
still
but
alive. I would even argue especially if the
200
creature
plus
is still
viewers.
alive. Not only is
I've
this
been following
horrific
Nixie for a
in
while.
way
Just
I
her
never
schedule's
thought
like
I'd have to
so rough for me.
realize, but the target also has to take
Because we are in very
4d10
conflicting
force
time
damage
zones.
if they
Because I
fail a
believe
Constitution
Nixie
saving
is
throw,
Australian
so
as well.
It's bad mechanically
Well, I
too.
say as well,
So
like-
feel free to describe that force damage
I-
to anyone in the thing's
I am
jaws
American.
by
I'm
letting them
in
know
EST
that it
time
feels
zones.
like their skeleton
I
is being
think Nixie's
pulled out
in
of
one of the
their
Australian
meat.
ones.
But wait, there's more. If bitten by the boneyard,
Oh,
you're also grappled
no.
by it, which definitely sucks. And on the following turn, if
Didn't
it
like
bites
that-
you
that-
again, you
didn't like
still
that
haven't
image.
escaped the grapple, you are now restrained by it.
Of
And
course,
at the
like,
start
if
of its
anyone has
next
raid
turn, if it
recommendations,
still
we can
has
always do
you
that too.
Restrained, you have to make
Because
a DC
no one's
18
ever recommended
Constitution
anything.
saving throw. I'll give you a moment to guess what might happen if you fail that saving throw. Anyone who said,
Night
if
Night
you fail,
Blaze,
your
thank you for showing up.
skeleton is
Thank you,
ripped out of your
thank you for
body
chatting
and
as
subsumed
always.
by the boneyard, you win.
You could stay on
Also,
my
yeah,
head until
if that
until
happens,
it's
you
on the
die.
end.
You definitely are no longer a
Because we're
living
going to be
person.
ending here soon, anyways.
It
We're
is
just
worth
watching
mentioning,
this
though, that
last video, and
extra
then we're going to
force
watch a
damage
silly little
does
shorts.
not apply to any creature without a
Have a
skeleton,
good eat.
such as an ooze.
Thank you
or
for the
a
recipe
plant,
and
or
name
even a
ideas.
construct. I'm talking about naturally grown organic bones only. None of these processed metal bones or whatever. It can also only make one bite attack per turn, so in order to get off this instant kill effect, it has to hit somebody with its bite and then keep them grappled and then restrained for 2 full turns. So this ability is not tremendously overpowered in my opinion because there's ample time to get out of it. But sometimes the dice just don't go your way and the threat is there, and that's what's important. That is what's scary. In addition to this gruesome ability, the boneyard can also shed piles of bones a couple times per day to create a small group of skeletal minions. Using an action, it can summon either 3d4 skeletons or 1d6 minotaur skeletons. Depending on the situation, a large group of regular skeletons or a smaller group of powerful minotaur skeletons both have differing benefits. But I think this is a really cool ability that makes the boneyard an awesome boss monster. In terms of actually building an encounter,
Now I'm just trying to remember, like, what was the stat where I was
Your
wanting to do
boneyard is
earlier?
usually going to begin combat.
Because I finally had an idea, I
some
still haven't
guys,
remembered
and
what
then
it
it's going
was.
to be flying around the battlefield trying to rip
I
out
don't
a
remember what
skeleton
time in the
here
video
and
I
there. Oh yeah, I
or
didn't mention
streamed
that,
that,
did I?
I thought
They
about
can
it.
fucking fly. With a fly speed of 60 feet, they are extremely
They
mobile
fly
for a
now?
creature of their size. So they're liable to swoop in, drop off a skeleton raiding party, grapple an unfortunate soul, and then take off to the skies for an all-you-can-eat bone buffet. God, this monster is just flying around eating bones. But the real question isn't how the boneyard subsumes bone matter in agonizing fashion, it's why. So, let's talk about a few. Fun fact, skeletons are scary. So what better
Spooky,
monster
scary skeleton and blah, 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 blah. I don't remember the words.
I have to imagine that the most straightforward and obvious story involving a boneyard would be that of a necromancer summoning one of them to use as a minion. I can just imagine a powerful spellcaster sailing over their legion of skeletons and zombies on the back of a boneyard mount.
I mean, there's really not much you can do with a boneyard for like riding. Like, it can only ever be a minion or like something like just a big fight. Like, never a character of its own. These things do not have character. They are used by the characters.
That would not only make for an extremely metal piece of concept art, it would also be a pretty mean final boss fight. But if you want something a bit more outside the box, I think a boneyard could be a really creative way to play on the spirit of vengeance trope. I mean, we already have revenants to kind of fill that role of an undead creature that rises from the grave in order to seek revenge on those who wronged it while it was still alive. But when a revenant isn't enough of a threat, perhaps you have an entire legion of soldiers that was sent to their death by a local monarch for some reason that have now risen as an amalgamated boneyard set on revenge. Perhaps they were sent to die for political reasons, or maybe it's just pure ineptitude on the side of the leader. But whatever your reason, justified or not, the boneyard has now started wreaking havoc on the countryside, and it's only a matter of time before it makes its way through that monarch's kingdom and up to the castle. Now we've got some intrigue, a mystery to be solved, and a big scary monster. The stuff dreams are made of. And if you don't want to use the boneyard as like a big boss type enemy for the end of a campaign, perhaps you use it as the opening of a campaign. I think it could be very fun to use it at the beginning of the story. The necromancer casting their profane ritual at the local cemetery at the center of town. Then the party arrives on the scene, takes down the villain, destroys the boneyard, and combat ends. But in the act of tearing up the cemetery to summon this boneyard, the necromancy has unknowingly revealed some kind of secret. Perhaps underneath the tomb of a long dead knight that was in the cemetery, there is a chamber that was hidden and sealed off from the rest of the world for hundreds of years. Nobody knew it was there. And inside this chamber, or maybe it's even an entire dungeon, that's where the true start of the campaign begins. What's waiting for them down there? That's totally up to you. If you want to keep it simple, maybe it's just a few powerful magic items or a hoard of riches. But perhaps there's something relevant to the story of the campaign, such as a scroll containing a prophecy of something grim to come. Or maybe even the ghost of the knight who was buried in this tomb is still hanging out down there waiting for somebody to find them, and they have some kind of wisdom or quest to bestow upon the party. In fact, if the thing torn up was a huge monument, maybe it's not even just one knight, but like an entire order of knights who were all buried there and entombed, who were in service to the previous king, and they...
Imagine like the knights of the round. Like, I'm pretty sure the knights can be like anywhere from 12 members, 24 members to 150 members. Imagine like having the entire, like, them undead just under this whole place, sitting there for possibly decades, maybe even centuries, and just no one knew they were there. I don't know, like, I don't know how we would get there, or like why they would even want to stay there, or like stay alive as undead for that long. But that does give me ideas.
They know something about the current ruler.
Like, they have a large order.
This atrocity that was committed during a time of war when the kingdom was originally conquered. Who knows? You can shake things up however you want. This could just serve as an excuse to discover something that was buried underneath the town, which was sort of in plain sight, but no one else knew was there. But however you choose to use this monster, I do think the boneyard is a truly unique creature even among skeletal kind. And I'm so glad I got to talk about it here today. If you do want to use this monster, linked in the description down below, there is a Google document which contains all the stats and lore tidbits and everything you will need to successfully run this creature in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons.
Of course, check out Dad's video. We're going to look at Twitch chat again.
The Patreon page, which is also linked down below, you will find the PDF stat block presented with the unique Dungeon Dad style.
Of course, YouTube warnings. There's
all that good stuff. Plus,
link to his channel is down below in the description.
And keeps all these very, very hot stage lights turned on. Maybe I got a little overzealous when I wore a hat in this video. I just want it to be winter so bad. It's so hot in this office. But speaking of patrons, it is time for Patron of the Week. This week's randomly selected patron is Mr. Saturday. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it immensely, and if everything went as planned, hopefully this video comes up on the day of your namesake. I guess we'll see. If it's not Saturday today, something happened. And thank you for
today's
watching.
Monday for me.
Immensely.
Wait, what?
If you have a
Can I see what day this video came out?
Of D&D that you want to see show up on Monster
nope,
of the
just
Week,
how long ago it was. 3 years.
Or get at me on
Holy
Discord.
hell.
We have a monster suggestions
Pretty sure
channel.
I saw this video when it
Discord in
came
the
out.
description down below also, so you can let me know there. We'll add it to the monster list. And who
That's
knows,
how
you
long
might
I've
just
been
see it show
following
up on the
Dungeon
channel.
Dad.
Also, over on the Dungeon Dad Discord, we're currently in the midst of a giveaway happening. I am giving away 5 badges to PAX Unplugged. They're full weekend badges, which usually I think cost like $87 US. So if you want to go to PAX Unplugged and you don't want to pay for your tickets, in the Dungeon Dad Discord and the giveaways channel, all you have to do is do a little emoji reaction thing to the giveaway post, and you will automatically be entered.
This was 3 years ago, so
Shout out to the folks over at
the
PAX
giveaway
for
doesn't
us
apply
up
anymore,
with those
sadly.
free passes to give away. And regardless of all of that, I'm gonna be there doing some interviews and stuff during the weekend. And if you see me around the show floor, come up, say hi, tell me what your favorite monster is. I got some like Dungeon Dad stickers made.
And then we're gonna watch one more short than raid outs.
Probably a ridiculous.
Pretty sure I
outfit,
know
so
who we're
shouldn't
gonna
be
raid
too
now.
hard to
Well,
find. I also do want to quickly mention the
it's a friend I've just never raided before. They're always playing the same game.
This is a new book that I'm
Literally.
working on along with Wally DM and Mr.
But I've never gotten a
Tarrasco.
chance to.
Some
Well,
artwork from the book around
I've
here
just
somewhere.
never rated them.
That's going to be going to Kickstarter
And I want to rate
real
them.
soon. I
They're
believe the
free
25th
and
of
Stormwolf.
October is our planned
Actually, no, I
launch
think
date
I've
for
rated them
Kickstarter,
Stormwolf
so it would
once,
mean
but like
the
a
world to me.
long
You
time
can click
ago.
the link in the pinned comment, go over to Kickstarter.
Yeah, we're
just
gonna raid
follow the
Stormy.
project. Just
Unless something else
check it
comes
out.
up.
On the launch day, there's going to be a free sample PDF of 3 full
The hell was
new
that?
monsters, brand new to the game that we've come up with, along with artwork, some lore stuff, and a full encounter that is scalable so you can run the monster at different levels for different types of parties. We're really excited about this
Took
book.
Kids and
It's gonna be a lot of
Chapter
fun. It's
events,
all
Mom.
about
Pretty sure that's an
bringing
A tier
some new
too.
monsters to the game and kind of giving advice on how to run and build effective encounters, as well as giving you a bunch of pre-generated encounters for those times when the party wanders off and you don't know what to do.
And that's Asperaba.
We're encountering this. Boom, there it is. But yeah, like I said, you can click the link in the pinned comment down below to check that out. It would mean the world
Food.
to me. I'm very excited
The
about it.
hell kind of frog
Definitely
is
gonna be
that?
talking about this a bit more on the channel over the next month. And
That's a
Kickstarter is
huge frog.
happening
What the hell?
Because this is the first like fully bound book that I've gotten the chance to work on. And what I mean by that is like a hardcover book that's actually going to be printed and sent out, which is
That is
very
horrifying.
exciting. Definitely something I've wanted to do for a long time, something I've talked about doing for a long time, and now we're finally doing it. So, but anyways, that's pretty much all I got for this week. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it immensely, and I will catch ya in the next one. Until then.
It's T-posing. It's asserting dominance. No! No! But I'm not ending just yet. There was one more thing I want to watch as funny. That's related to the video, kind of. Because of course we can't end off with just a skeleton without going for the stupidest, the funniest skeleton joke.
for you.
It's side video
What
game.
is a
I don't know how to. I don't know how to change that.
I don't know. Go on, guess. No. Go on, guess. Come on. Guess. Why are you laughing? I haven't told the punchline yet. What is a skeleton's favorite snack? Guess. It's putting me in a lot of pressure. Guess. Fuck. Guess. Guess, goddamn you. Why won't you answer me? What is my favorite snack? No! No! What is it? Why must you fail me so often? Ribs! Spare ribs! Fuck! I have a joke for you.
That's enough of that. Just, where is it? Alright, that. Put this back on. Actually, let me just delete that entirely. I love that short. It's so fucking stupid. But for the YouTube warnings, I'll be ending it here. So let me just get this open. Thank you for showing up today, chatting with me, hanging out, lurking, doing whatever we do. Also, thank you for liking the video, because I did see that happen like once, maybe twice. And I do need to fix the commands on the YouTube side. But for YouTube warnings, that will be all for the stream. See you guys again on Wednesday. Wait, hold on, wait, no, there's one more thing. This should work. Hopefully. Come on, I know I set this command up. I know I set it up, surely. There we go. YouTube world links, please join the Discord if you haven't. We have a server over there where you can find my schedule, find like all my updates, like all that stuff. But as I said, that will be all. Ending the YouTube side.